Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bullring. Oh, baby, you talk about madhouses. This is the madhouse on XCAL Racing. You're going to see it live for the next round of the XCAL Webshop Street Stock Series. You see it all live here tonight on Motormouth Broadcasting. Good evening, folks. I'm the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves, with our good buddy Hamish Monroe on co-commentating and producing, and for the moment, at least for the moment, my son, 7 months old, sitting right here on my lap, getting ready to get it going, get it started right here. But Hamish, buddy, we had an off week. Was certainly well rested off week. Good time for me with the family and everything else. I know you had time as well to enjoy it on a Tuesday night, but we're back at it.
Yeah, we are indeed, Jake. I made the mistake of not unmuting my mic straight away. I was trying to find the racing for us to bring it up, but I cannot find it for the life of me. For whatever reason, I've lost it, so that's my fault. But no, I mean, it's obviously, it was nice to get an off week last week, of course. We got to have ourselves a little break in between races. I used that time. How did I use that time? I can't even remember now. I think I went out somewhere that day with my partner, so we had a great time out. And then, we're back this week for the Bullring, obviously positioned right next to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So we'll see who can roll the dice tonight and take advantage of this little 1 mile short track out here alongside Vegas Motor Speedway. 400 miles tonight, so it should be 400 laps of the Bullring. It's going to be a long race. It's going to be a tough race for these drivers as well. And of course, the last time we were on everybody's screens, we were racing around another short track in the form of. Double check. See, I'm all over the place right now, Jake. I'm absolutely all over the place, and it's an absolute shambles right now for me. But
yeah, it's good. It's good. Hamish, I think we were at the USA International Speedway, which is where we was at. No, hell no, we were at Five Flags. So,
Five Flags.
Hell, I'm messed up at this point too, I guess. But yeah, went to Five Flags as well. It was a good one. Then obviously had the off week, and then we got the Bullring this week. And then you flip around and you got Irwindale, which is the outer version of it. That is going to be an interesting little race right there as far as that. It's just not the inner. If it was the inner, then it'd be like a damn, demolition derby. But for the sense of that, it's not really. And then you got the Auto Club, you got the Long Beach, and then you flip around and you got Phoenix, and then you got another off week. Basically going through the month of March right there, ending it with Kansas as well. So pretty cool races. I'm kind of looking forward to the Auto Club and the Kansas with these street stocks, because that's certainly the kind of races to where you're going to run into as pack racing, so to speak, like we usually see with the trucks and the Xfinity and shit like that. But with these street stocks, it's going to be a little bit different, because then you get everything packed up. Short track, everybody's got their own strategy, all this and that and all this cool stuff. But when you get to these bigger tracks, that's where it's going to kind of look like like a Daytona or a Talladega kind of deal. It's just with the street stocks. And mind you, I still wouldn't mind seeing the street stocks run at Talladega. Granted, they'll be 140 miles an hour all the way around the place, but still, it would be interesting.
It may not even necessarily end in death per se, because they may not be able to get up to a high enough speed to really, really harm themselves out there too much. We've got a couple
they might.
Well, we've got an update on some of our standings as well coming in tonight, just before very, very quickly we get into our pre-race promos, of course. For Rookie of the Year at the moment, it's currently being led by Jack McKee on $75.49 as his current win in his purse at this stage of the series, which is great to see. Cody Rogers, David Malgi, Justin Bird and Earl Seams for those 5 rookies. We're trying to win that one at the moment. For the Owners' Championship at this stage, Gerald Pool's winning the way thanks to the sheer dominance of Octavio Rondoletto. And if you missed Five Flags last time out, it was pretty much the Octavio Rondoletto show. He lapped everyone barring his teammate Jose Gudinho for the top 2 positions in that race. They were the only 2 drivers left on the lead lap. Both of them lapped. Oh, well, at least Octavio did lap everybody barring Jose. And I have confirmed, Jake, I asked my friend who is Portuguese how to pronounce Jose's name, and it is Jose Gudinho. That is the pronunciation. It is a short sound at the end. So I've done the research and the analysis for the week away to figure that out. And of course, leading the way in the championship moment for total win in terms of a purse that he's won. Octavio Rondeletto has won himself a little under $385 to this point of the championship as well, which has been great to see for him. We've only got one driver left in the green room waiting for their pre-race promo. Unfortunately, we just didn't have enough time to get through them, unfortunately, with the 5-minute countdown and everything, and having to get through some of the stats. That driver is Charles Joplin, who's waiting in the wings right now, as we'll quickly drag him in. Charles, welcome in. So sorry to the other drivers that we missed out on giving their pre-race promo. It's trying to shuffle everything around, but you're the one that stayed around, and you're the one that we get to have a quick chat to as well. Back-to-back poles tonight, of course, for you. But Mr. Rex has been running a faster lap than you would, yes, but he finished up third in the heat race. Are you concerned about Rex this evening, who is starting out of 8th place, knowing that this is such a long race this evening, to try and put the pressure on you throughout this race?
Oh yeah, I mean Rex is fast. I mean, got a new guy in here. His name's John. I ain't want to try to pronounce his last name, but he's pretty sweet, pretty quick. I mean, all these guys in here is pretty quick. I mean, it's just you got to make your car last. Try not to burn it up. Like I done last week before we had the week off. I kind of just fell back, rode, and saved my car to the end. Had a great race with Jared Mohart at the end, and finished 4th, the last race. So you got to save your car, I mean, and your tires. So that's the whole key about racing this.
I've got to say, Richie, you are probably the only person I've talked to this season that probably sounds the most like you drive a heavy hauler, road train style of truck around the US roads. You've got this nice twang about you. I want you to narrate children's stories for us. I mean, it's
well, that it's actually I am a truck driver in real life.
Of course, yes. Yeah, you got that sound about you. I keep on seeing this guy on my socials who he sounds very close to you, and I've seen videos of him getting taken into like gas stations, getting his the trucker's lunch, if you will, and it's sometimes it's nice to live into your own little stereotype perhaps. But we wish you the best of luck tonight. Thanks so much for coming to have a quick chat to us, and we'll see how you go starting up at the front end of the field.
Thank you, man. I appreciate y'all doing this and broadcasting, and y'all have a good, and I hope it's a good race for you.
No worries at all. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, nice to have a quick chat.
Hey, Michelle, I'll help you out a little bit, because, I mean, for everybody at home that doesn't understand, doesn't know, Hamish is actually under the weather a little bit here this evening,
yes.
So I'm going to step it up a little bit and kind of help out as far as the announcing goes right here to help him out just a little bit. Eventually, I'm going to have to take a break and have to get me a shot of whiskey just to get my nerves and get my shit back going and everything else. But anyway, qualified is on tap. We're starting to see drivers working their way around this bullring. Hamish, I will say this. I have raced here once or twice, not as much as possibly, as I would say some of these guys has. But, there's been, I've had a couple of laps here. This place is kind of hard to drive. It really is. This place is going to be hell on these guys trying to get around it, make sure you don't burn your shit up, make sure you get down in the corner, do what you got to do, make it right. It's going to be a lot of focus here, and obviously with the laps and everything that these guys put down, it will go by quick unless we get a whole lot of cautions. But for the most part, anybody that's been watching so far this season knows cautions ain't really gonna pop off that fast. So it's going to be a 400 lapper right here that's going to go by, I would say, relatively quickly, but we'll see how it ends up turning out as we're getting ready for the start here tonight at the Bullring for the XCAL Webshop series, and we got the grid lined up. Everybody line it up.
Yeah, for whatever
14
reason,
of them.
It's not showing my grid for whatever reason. I don't know why, and it's rather annoying. because my graphics.
Hell with it. We'll wing it. Hell with it. We'll wing it. Richie Joplin, J-Dog Seams. You see him right there on the front rows. We're on the back end of the pace car. Right behind him, Matt Bear Sr., King Matthew Bear. Right behind him with Gerald Poole coming back out here in the 48. He's actually taking over for Octavio Rondoletto, who is running in the Road to Pro Series. Rondoletto talked about that before we went on break, and we took that week off. He's actually getting into running for that. So, good on Rondoletto to try that out and see what happens. So Gerald Poole could actually take over that 48 for the foreseeable future. You got John Canazario, that's going to be a fun one to say. Canazario Jr., mind you, starting 5th with Jack Key in 6th. Then you got Alba Hewins rolled off from 7th with Stephen T. Rex in 8th. David Malgi, Joe Campbell, Silent Joe Campbell making up row number 5, 9th, and 10th, respectively. There you see Ryan Seams back there, Sean Andrews, Earl Seams, Jose Godino back there in the 13th spot. I think I got it right that time. And Jack McKee, it's like he's on the pit road. He's just going to stay. He just said piss on it. I'll just start for the pits and just see what happens. Maybe there was a penalty that made him have to be in that particular situation. But you also saw right there where the entrance of pit road is right there coming into turn 3, something we're going to have to watch out for here this evening. Green flag in the air, 400 laps. Here tonight to decide it at the Bullring. Richie Joplin, Bear trying to work out it there as well. Joplin, he'll jump out. He'll get clear. Canazario Jr. now going to slide down to the inside. Bear's going to slide up the hill. J-Dog making contact back there. Might have been Gerald Poole that got into him in the 48. But they're going to separate it, get it straightened back out. It now looks like front 3 trying to break away. J-Dog tried to jump into the middle of it. There you see right there the 48. Gerald Poole right there smack dab in the middle of it as well. Lap 3 on the board. Shout out to the late, great Dale Earnhardt. Obviously, 25 years ago this past Sunday was when he won his only Daytona 500. Or actually, I might have just completely fucked that up. I think it was 25 years ago was when he got killed, unfortunately, at the Daytona International Speedway. So 25 years ago. And very unfortunate for that. Actually, 25 years ago tomorrow, if you go by that, it was February 18, 2001. That's exactly when that was. So the 25th anniversary of the Daytona 500 run this past Sunday. Some of you probably knew, some of you probably didn't. Some of you probably really don't give a fuck. But, I mean, that's what I'm going to go with on that. That's how I'm going to put it. As you see the 20 of Godino. Oh, baby. Up a whole bunch right here. Up 7 spots. Andrews now up 6. They ain't worried about saving tires. They ain't worried about nobody. They're driving it on up through the field, literally driving them up through the field, up 6 and 7 spots respectively. Now Andrews going to match Godino. Up 7 spots, both of them. Andrews up to 4th. Godino, he's up to 6th. He's going to one best it. He'll go up another spot. He'll go to 5th. Where in the hell did these guys end up coming from? They started at the back. They have worked their way all the way up here to the front. And already with 400 laps on tap here tonight for round 5, we're already 9 down in the blink of an eye.
So to confirm for you, Jake, just to get you the stats for you here quickly on Mr. Earnhardt, as you mentioned him. So his only Daytona 500 win as a driver was 1998, ironically the year I was born. The year that he died at Daytona in 2001, that same event, he actually won as an owner posthumously. So he passed away in the Daytona 500, and the car that he owned, which would have been one of his team members, won the Daytona 500 in that same year. Yeah.
Yep. Matter of fact, actually, Hamish, for some of the viewers out there, maybe they're not NASCAR fans, they don't know this, but yeah, Michael Waltrip, that was his very first win in like 462 starts in NASCAR Cup Series competition.
Almost feels like a bit of little bit of divine intervention, perhaps.
Right.
You know, by Mr. Earnhardt himself. So. That would be.
And think about this, though, Hamish. Think about this. The driver that finished second in that race, he owned that car as well. Ironically enough, it was his son, Dale Earnhardt Jr., who ended up finishing second in that race. And both of them.
It's quite interesting how racing and divine intervention can sometimes take place. Most notable would be here in Australia, would be 2006 when Peter Brock passed away, and his young protege Craig Lowndes went on to win the Bathurst 1000 only a month later. So it's it's quite interesting how things can happen like that in the world of motorsport. And on the same weekend that Earnhardt dies, his two of his cars that he owns, finished top 2 at the 500, and his son is the one that finishes P2 behind Michael Waltrip. It's pretty incredible that can happen.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing. Honestly, when you think of something like that, I mean it was a day of triumph, obviously for Michael Waltrip, but then all of a sudden, granted at the same time, I mean, Hamish, we'll just go ahead and call it like we see it on this one. I'm a little bit more of a bigger NASCAR fan, I would think, than you are. Not trying to piss you off, not trying to make you end up having beef with me before it's all said and done. But I'm just taking a wild guess at it. Right?
Jake, where's the right turns?
Well, we got more right turns in NASCAR now than what we did back in 2001. I guarantee that. And that is, in my opinion, is bullshit. But that's beside the point. It was a big day, for Michael Waltrip. And then obviously it was a sad day as well. And it just that whole season of 2001. You think about this for a second. They go to Atlanta. The Atlanta Motor Speedway this coming weekend, for the NASCAR Cup Series, and not to the day of when it happened, but 25 years later when they go to Atlanta Motor Speedway, 25 years ago, the very first time they went to Atlanta in 2001 was actually when Kevin Harvick won in Dale Earnhardt's car. It was not the number 3, it was the number 29. It was not painted black like the GM Goodrich Intimidator's car was. It was painted white with black numbers, so it was kind of inverted, so to speak. And Kevin Harvick actually winning that race by literally a fucking fender over Jeff Gordon, just right there at the line. It was a photo finish deal, so pretty big for that. It kind of got to where everybody kind of started back on the healing process. And then obviously later on that year, for the July the 4th, back when Daytona was actually on July the 4th for the summer race, that was when Dale Earnhardt Jr. Won at Daytona when they come back after his daddy getting killed. So, that whole, season, was big. And then it was really cool, Hamish. I don't know if you actually got to watch the Daytona 500 this Sunday, but on lap 3, the announcers, they were silent. Everybody was silent and held up 3 fingers, which was kind of weird. But they haven't done it in so damn long. They done it 25 years ago after Earnhardt got killed. So it was just kind of just one of those weird things where they done that. And it was very, very, it just took me back. It took me back to when I was a kid, seeing it, doing it at the racetracks, me and my dad going to the races and everything else. We did that as well. It just was kind of threw me back to retro back when I was a kid when I went. And certainly, it's like they talk about, he's missed every single day, obviously, by, fellow competitors that raced against him and car owners and broadcasters and everybody in NASCAR. They miss him and everything else. And you can only, you can only just sit there and wonder, what would have happened had it didn't happen, but it did happen, and it is what it is out of that. Back to it here with XCAL, though, with John Cannizzaro. Probably messing that up. That's the best way to throw it.
That'll be right. John, I would say John Cannizzaro, but that's just because of
Cannizzaro,
the way I pronounce things. But American would be Cannizzaro.
Junior.
you know.
Junior's up there leading this sumbitch.
Yeah,
there you go. 66, John Catazero Jr. We'll just call him Junior. Junior's up here leading it right now. Joplin was the pole sitter. He's back in second. Matt Bear Sr., King Matthew Bear, he hasn't moved, not one bit. He's exactly where he started at in the P3 spot. And then you got literally, and I love this right here because 7 is a big number in my life now. Obviously, with my son being born on July the 7th. You can't make that shit up. But 777. Andrews up 7 spots, up into the 4th spot. Ron Sims is up 7 spots. He's in the 5th spot. And Jose Godino up 7 spots, up into the 6th spot. And ironically enough, Hamish, you got 7s all the way around us. Like I said, my son was born on July the 7th of 2025. You take 2 and 5, add them together, what do you get? Fucking 7. Unbelievable. Yep. 7s all around.
Yep. 7s all the way around. We look at the car ahead of them, Matt Bear. He's running the 6-7 car, so, 4 technically 7s in a row, I suppose. Although now it's changed to 8 and 6 because Seams has gotten ahead of Sean Andrews, so that's ruined the reference I was making, but anyway. I've been flicked for making a 6-7 joke. I want you to know that, Jake. So I've risked life and limb for referencing 6-7 on a broadcast now, so just put some respect on the references.
You got busted for saying that? Is that what you said? You got busted for saying 6-7?
I said it as my partner walked in, and she flicked me on the shoulder.
Oh, that might have been pushing it. I mean, that might have been taking it maybe just a little bit too far on that.
Maybe it's because I didn't do the hand gesture as well with it. I don't know. I've just forced her to
There's a
deep
hand
inhale.
gesture with that shit.
Yeah, I've just done it as I stated it, and it made her deep inhale. Oh no! I've been flicked on the head now, Jake. You're getting a live commentary of me being flicked for poking the bear, if you will. Apparently, there's beef in my bedroom.
Well, and not the good beef.
No.
Oh God, we haven't even got to 69, lap 69 yet. We're already stirring some shit up.
We're a tenth of the way there, though. We're on lap 40, and I'll be honest, Jake.
Yeah.
Flown by. 10 minutes.
Much.
At
Very
this
fast.
rate, at this rate, we're going to go 100 minutes. So it's an hour and 40 minutes. That's not too bad for the Bullring. We were talking pre-race. We thought if they were getting a little bit chaotic, we may be looking at 2 to 3 hours worth of racing. But if they can maintain green flag runs, which they've been doing the majority of the rounds this season, and often at times after a week away, drivers kind of reset, the red mist kind of drifts away a little bit and there's a bit more clarity. Definitely able to go green flag running tonight. And obviously the longer they're running now without pit stops, well, then that's obviously going to mean that it's going to shrink the amount of time we're going to lose from taking pit stops as well. So we can maybe be here for a little under 2 hours. That wouldn't be too bad for the Bullring. I mean, and what we're getting is there's still a tight-knit battle pack together of Rex, Albie Hewins, McKee, Gardenia, and Malgi, who are all tightly together in a battle for P6 at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, and that's one thing that you really want to see when you come to these short tracks. I mean, granted, Catazero Jr. out there with about a second lead, and then you got Bear kicked back about 2 seconds back behind Joplin. Then you got Ryan Sims. Actually, they've right off and left him, and Andrews right there. But like you mentioned right there with Rex, Hewins, McKee right there, Godino, who was up there sitting in the 6th spot, he's actually now, something happened to him. He's actually slid back, went all the way back to 9th. Maybe burned off the goody on the tires. It already set him way back there a little bit as well. One thing about this, I do want to mention, Hamish, that we talked about it earlier. Jack McKee in that 23, he's smack dab in the middle of that battle with Rex and Hewins, and Malgi actually just got around Godino as well. But Jack McKee started on pit road.
He did.
Let's not forget that. He started on pit road.
Yep.
And for what reason? Hell if I know. What he started on pit road for. I'm not 100% exactly why he did that. but whatever it was, he might want to keep doing it throughout the rest of the season because it's actually worked out for him. He actually qualified 6th, and then started from the pits and drove all the way back up through here. You just got to wonder, Hamish, with the speed that Jack's been showing, not necessarily the fastest driver on the racetrack, and hadn't run the fastest lap, but you got to wonder with Jack McKee, say he did start in 6th. Let's just say he didn't start from the pits. Where would that number 23 be in the running order? Would he be up there where, Catazero is? Or would something have happened and Jack be all the way back there where Joe Campbell is? Back there in dead last if he started right exactly where he qualified at. Only time will tell. I'll say this. By God, somebody is moving, trying to get up through there, and it is Jack McKee. You're right on board with him. Drops down to the inside. Gets around Stephen T. Rex. Maybe use Campbell as a pick. Maybe, maybe not. It was a tight little squeeze right there, just to try to slide it in there. Used him as a pick. I love to say it like this right here, Hamish, with those tight squeezes like that. It wasn't as tight as a tick's ass when they was going through there. It wasn't that tight when they were trying to slide it through there, but it was a little bit tight to where Rex had to get out of the gas, not to end up running into Joe Campbell and causing a hell of a wreck. So good move right there by Jack McKee.
We can see, obviously, he's keeping the tyres under him, which is obviously one of the biggest challenges of having to go so many laps already. But I think that what's key here for Jack is he's keeping it nice and tidy, he's keeping it smooth. And you mentioned, well, where could he have been if he had started from the position he's in now, which is P6? Ultimately, he probably would have been up in around about P4, maybe challenging Matt Bear in P3, because both Gerald Poole and J-Dog seems to have dropped massive positions down outside the top 10. No incidents to speak of, by the way, as to why they're down there, so I'm unsure why. Poole's down 8 at the moment. J-Dog's down 11 to the back end of the field. So both of those guys have had horrid race starts. I'm unsure why this happened, whether they've been given EOLs or what. But he would have at least gained 2, and he probably would have, if he'd started on the grid, would have been at the very minimum P4 at this stage, up where Ryan Seams is, quite possibly challenging Matt Bear for P3 at this point of the race.
Yeah, it could have happened. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, I guess you could say on it, but just didn't necessarily work. You know what I mean? You just didn't make it happen, but certainly sitting in a good spot right now. The biggest loser out of all this, I have no idea what the hell happened to him, but J-Dog Seams, 88, back 11 spots. Biggest mover in the field, ironically enough, relative and teammate Ryan Seams, up 8 spots. He's up into the 4th spot. Andrews was on a hell of a charge. He's still up 6 spots. Him and, Jose Godino, both of them, they were hauling ass up through the field, making charges and making moves to try to get themselves in position. But Andrews was the only one to really kind of stop. Stay where he's at, hold his ground and not slide back or anything like that. Andrews is the only one to not slide back. Godino had it rolling. He was moving. And then, obviously, I think he might have just burnt the tires off of it as he has slid back now. He's 2/10 slower than what your leader, John Canizero is right now. So, as you see, Canizero right here still leads. He's got Godino right behind him. Actually, he just put Jose Godino 1 lap down on the field. And he's not gone yet. By no means, Hamish. He is not gone. He still has a chance, Richie's still got a shot. Richie's just right there. Richie's right behind Jose Godino. You see Richie Joplin right there. Joplin's not out of this, not by a long shot. Bear's not out of this by a long shot. Ryan Seams needs some shit to happen. Obviously, Andrews needs something to happen. He's battling with McKee. McKee trying to get it to the top 5. Just so much shit going on right now, and we're coming up on the penultimate, did I say it right? Penultimate lap. How do you say it, Hamish?
Well, penultimate lap would be lap before. Penultimate would be like lap before something. So the penultimate lap of this race would be 3:99, for example. Penultimate of us getting, for us
Here's your
getting a
penultimate
salute in the chat. Yeah, this is the penultimate lap to the salute lap that we often have for lap 69.
Right. Yes, sir.
So as we come round to continue on, although I'm glad that we are extending and expanding your vocabulary there, Jake.
Don't chance it.
Lap 69, though, get the salutes in the chat. It's nice to be back for lap 69 once again, and you're going to be able to re-roll this 2 more times this race, or 3 more times, actually. I'm wrong. When we hit one, that's 169, 269, and 369. So as lap 70 comes to an end, or comes to the beginning, we salute back to lap 69 and move on. And we're getting into the point now, Jake. It's looking like we could go 100 laps, get a pit stop, and this could just be a 3-stop race and cut the race into quarters, and it's really going to be a race of attrition if this happens.
Yeah, that's going to be the big factor out of it. Like you said right there, obviously going to be a battle of attrition. It's damn Jack McKee. Damn it, boy.
This is a man on a mission. He is on a mission right now to chase down that podium and maybe even chase down the race leader. Now, the gap is still 10.6 seconds to the race leader, but he has shrunken the time up to Matthew Bear. It was above 8.5 seconds earlier in this race. It's now down to around about 8 seconds to a little under, in and around about the high 7-second marker at this point. So he is slowly creeping up on him. He's lapping not too much faster than him, around about 7/100ths of a lap last time by, but he is slowly creeping up and he is slowly chasing down. He was the fastest man on that previous lap out of all the top 4, though Joplin setting a 16.23 and Bear setting a 16.26. They are beginning to answer the challenge of McKee by trying to set some quicker lap times here by running away from him.
Yeah, I mean, that's big right there, trying to make it happen. I mean, there you see McKee he just tried. I mean, it's like I said, you know, what could have happened? What could have happened if McKee would have just said, you know what, piss on it. Let's just start up here at the front. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Turns out, hell no, he didn't want to do it. So that's why you see McKee actually back here in the position that he's in right here. I mean, maybe it's like I said, you play devil's advocate, right? You know, I mean, Hamish, I mean, you do sit here, you play devil's advocate on this and that and this and that. And, well, what would have happened if he did this? What would have happened if he did that? You know, I mean, nobody fucking knows. You don't know. Nobody knows what, could have happened. But certainly if it would have all been clean and green like it has been and Jack wouldn't have been caught up in nothing, he would have either been right up, John Canaro Jr.'s ass, or he'd already be around him and he'd have that 2.5 lead like he's got over Richie Joplin and have it over John. And then Richie would probably be in a hole about 3 seconds. So, I mean, Jack is moving right now. And, that last lap, he hit a 16.2. You got the leader up here hitting a 16.4. Bear hit a 16.3. Joplin hit a 16.3. We'll see what Jack hits whenever he comes around and actually hits the line. And Jack, actually, that time, he hit a 16.4, but he was having to deal with Gerald Poole in the 48, trying to get around him and trying to work his way up through the field any way that he can. There's Richie Joplin. There's Catazero Jr. And Jr. up here started 5th. It's like, honestly, Hamish, he took the lead, and he really ain't turned around. He really ain't looked back. He's literally, telling everybody, he's basically showing them the fucking taillights. He's panning it down in the cellar with Grandpappy How's the Moonshine from Granny, and he ain't letting up.
Well, the one thing that can be said is that he is pulling off a really dominant performance right now, and if he can continue on this run, it may turn into a more dominant performance than what we saw from Rondeletto last time out at 5 Flags. He's already lapped up to P9. He's got Stephen Rex in P8 right up the road from him. Then Albie Hewins, then Andrews, then Seams. Then we get to Jack McKee. With 326 laps to go when he crosses the line, there is no reason as to why he couldn't lap the whole field. And I argue there's no reason why he couldn't lap the whole field twice. Because he may lap the whole field, Jake, by the time we get to lap 200. And then he's got 200 laps to do it all over again. I mean, this is just a ridiculous amount of pace from him. and I think what what maybe it's saying is maybe more a question of consistency, and he's just more consistent and confident around here, or is he just hitting the markers better, or is it just genuinely the skill deficit compared to everyone else is a lot higher? But the issue for him really is that Joplin and Bear, they've not really dropped off the back of him. They're still sitting about 1 to 3 seconds back. Everyone else is in the double digits, and in fact for Jack McKee, he is losing time right now, the race leader. It's out to 10.9 seconds is the gap. It won't take very long for that to stretch out to about 11 or 12 seconds, and all of a sudden he's a lap down on the race leader.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big deal out of this right here. Obviously, I mean, you mentioned right there's Stephen T. Rex, obviously the winner at season opener at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and doing he's hell, I mean, that's where he started at, so he ain't doing as bad. It could be doing a hell of a lot fucking worse, but he's not. Canizero Jr. Up, obviously, like I mentioned, up 4 spots. Joplin still holding on to that second spot. Now he's starting to get a little company, ironically enough, in the form of Matt Bear. There you see Bear right behind him. Then you got Jack McKee way back there. He still ain't up into this mix, but battle for second starting to heat up a little bit. Right here, Hamish, you got Joplin, you got King Matthew Bear, self-proclaimed Matthew Bear. If you want to put an entertainment aspect onto it, Bear has, we'll just call it like we see it, Hamish. You know me, I'm going to call it like I see it, and you call it like you see it sometimes. Bear's caused some shit this season. He really has. I mean, you think about it, with him and the Joe Campbell incident, at Charlotte, whether or not, it still screwed Campbell, and Campbell, obviously, he had his say, and he got his revenge, when we went to the Rock, or the Ham, or however you want to put it, the week after that, he got his revenge then. But Joe Campbell, he had that contact with him. Then he got raced the way that he thought he did against, Octavio Rondeletto at the Rock. I never saw anything wrong with it. I didn't think, Octavio really done anything egregious, but Bear called him out on it and said that wasn't, how he needed to race and everything else. Well, this is what I want to see. Is you seen Bear now starting to work up through here, starting to take a shot. He gets up under Joplin, you pole center. Bear going to go up a spot and go to the second spot. Here's what I want to see, Hamish, and this is just me, is, well, you want to flip that 69. Now you're at lap 96, but Bear talked all this shit. He's had the contact. He's had this. He's had that. Octavio's been out there on the racetrack. He's finished behind him, second, third, however you want to look at it, numerous times. What I want to see is Octavio's not here. He's running Road to Pro. We know this. Obviously, we know this. He's at the Road to Pro deal. He's doing that. I think they're at Vegas. I think that's where they're at tonight. Here's what I want to see. And I'll give you a chance to chime in on this one as well. Octavio ain't here. Bear better get on the loud pedal and start moving. Because, Octavio ain't here. He's the king, self-proclaimed king. If he's going to use that title, he needs to get up here and start winning some races. Because Octavio's not here. The showman's not here this evening. Bear needs to go up there. If he's going to be the king, and we call him the king, he needs to get his ass up at the front and get in front of Canizero Jr. At least that's my take, Hamish. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you got to take advantage whilst Rondeletto's over on excursion elsewhere doing other, Road to Pro and stuff like that. Take advantage while he's not here. You need to maximize whilst your biggest rival on track is not here, because it will then put pressure on him when he comes back that he needs to continue to perform. If you drop performance whilst he's away, you're only feeding into not only his ego, and you're not only feeding into his narrative that he's right and you're wrong, but you've also you've got to feed into your own belief that you can beat him, but that you are good enough to be there up there with him. And for this, for the self-proclaimed king, Matthew the Bear, he needs to perform, and he needs to try and fight his way forward. Now, interestingly enough, John and Matt, as we've just been told in the chat, we really appreciate it, they're on the same team. So John and Matt may try and work together now. As we can see, he's just starting to chase down John Canizaro at this point. Then they lap Stephen Rex, which, by the way, what a slump performance this week for Stephen Rex in comparison to the last few weeks. Obviously, the week's break did not help him. But the 6.6 and the 6.7 car, these guys have got to work together now to try and not only keep themselves the only cars on the lead lap, but build the gap back to Richie Joplin. And by the time they get to the end of the race, with Cannizzaro not racing the majority of the season, maybe just give Matthew the win and let him try and close the gap up to Ronaldetto, but more importantly, apply more pressure to him as well. At the same point as Matt's going to take the race lead from his teammate John Cannizzaro. And exactly what we thought may have happened is just give Matthew the lead. You guys work together and you fight your way forward and try and lap the whole field. And again, make your life easier, although he's getting a bit loose there. Almost looking like a man trying to go rollerblading on an ice rink. It's not going to work out very well. But these guys will try and work their way through.
Yeah, I tried to work it up through here, and actually Bear might have actually heard me talking about it a second ago, talking about he needs to get up on the high horse and start doing something. Damn it all if he ain't. Down on the inside, jumped the curb, tried to make it stick. King Matthew Bear. All righty. I'll shut the hell up now. Bear jumps up to the front. Cannizzaro tried to pull a slider. He is there. Wait a minute. Cannizzaro Jr. jumping down to the inside and trying to make it stick. 66, 67. There was a 68 and a 69. I wouldn't believe it out there on the racetrack, but it is what it is. 67 and 66 battling. Here comes Joplin. Richie Joplin going to jump up here and get in the middle of this. Bear took a shot, tried to get around Cannizzaro Jr., was not able to make the pass. He made the pass. The Cannizzaro pulled the slider, jumped down on the bottom, went back around him. All that battling going on, especially with Rex right here smack dab in the middle of it, it has really screwed that up because now it's brought Richie Joplin back into the play. And fourth place is 12 seconds back from this, Hamish. You got top three guys right here, literally throw a blanket over them. Shit might get real. Here comes Bear down to the inside, tried to make it stick. Will it happen? Here comes Bear, or down the inside, Joplin right behind him. You got Cannizzaro Jr. up top as well. Bear, he'll jump by, he'll grab the lead. Joplin now battles with Cannizzaro Jr. Bear trying to get the hell out of there as fast as he can. Rex will dive down to the inside. Now Cannizzaro Jr. is going to lose a couple of spots. Rex already a lap down. He'll flip-flop back fourth in line. Bear jumps back up ahead. And for the moment, they've all calmed down, at least for the moment now, Hamish.
The main issue there is, right, so Bear and Cannizzaro are teammates. I know we're only a quarter of the way through the race. Teammates are battling, and it's now dropped Cannizzaro not only out of the race lead, but out of the top two. It's given Joplin an opportunity to get back up past Cannizzaro and putting pressure on Matt Bear at this point of the race. Why would you not try and work together to run away from Joplin? Why would you give him even a sniff of the glue stick to try and stick to the rear bumper of you? I mean, why would you do that? The only positive to this point is they've actually gained time on the P4 position now of Ryan Seams, because Seams, Hewins and McKee have all stayed around each other and they've been battling. Andrews has now gotten involved with them as well. So as long as those guys continue to battle, these front runners are going to continue to chase them down. Gap's now out to 12.8 seconds up to the race leader, because you look at the front end of this little train that Mr. Matt Bear's just caught. There he is, Ryan Seams, P4. He is only up the road from him. He's only 2 corners away. There is Matt Bear in the background. So he's only a couple laps away from lapping everybody up to P3. He's nearly lapped everyone barring the podium.
Damn. I mean, that's moving right there, honestly, right there for Bear trying to slide up here and make it happen. Obviously, J-Dog seemed something amiss on that 88. Not sure what happened with him. Gerald Poole, not sure what happened with the 48 as well. 88, 48, not having the nights that obviously they needed here tonight at the Bullring. 120 down, a 400. You see all the great sponsors up there at the top right. You saw J-Dog Carpentry up there, track cabs for Gormans. up there as well. Numerous sponsors, a part of this league as well. There you see, obviously, Digital Race Engineer. We've talked about that here on the channel with Motorbath Broadcasted. Jim Cunningham's talked about it. Hamish has talked about it. I've talked about it. Hell, everybody's fucking talked about it. I mean, great deal, mind you. And I'm not saying that to, cause any issues, obviously, Hamish, but it's, great product. The Digital Race Engineer has got. And, Hamish, you know a little bit more about it than I do. I know that you can use that, obviously when you're racing and you can listen to it. It's a better spotter. You can tell it what to do. You can tell, the Digital Race Engineer, you can tell it what to do. Tell it that, hey, I want this tire and I want this tire pressure in it. You can tell you can tell it do all kinds of shit. And at the same time, it'll be able to tell you that you're way more clear than a spotter pack that you downloaded off of the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always a big believer of there's nothing can replace a real life spotter. I still think a real life spotter is the greatest thing you can ever have. I spot for my team week in and week out for our Supercars League that we do. But DRE is probably as close as you're going to get to an automated spotter that is as close to a real life spotter as you can possibly get as well. And I know drivers who've used it, who've been recommended it by us or, through the channel or outside of the channel as well. There's been a couple of teething issues and stuff like that, but the support level from the owners and creators and runners of DRE, the support level outweighs those teething issues because they can actually help you progress through the teething issues. They'll ask you for data on why it's doing what it's doing. They'll be able to get you set up as quickly as possible. They have ways and means of supporting you through the process of getting it to work correctly. And once it's working correctly, it doesn't make a mistake. As long as you've set it up to work as it's supposed to work, it will work correctly. And it will work better than Crew Chief will. The main issue with Crew Chief that people find, Jake, is it will underfuel them because they'll get into a race and they'll either have a series where they have a live safety car, so it doesn't realise it's under yellow, as John Cannizzaro, by the way, is in pit lane, so we're having a first proper pit stop here tonight on lap 131 of 400, so we're still going to go 4 stops, but it's going to be a very small splash at the very end of the race if they need it. So for Crew Chief, for example, it'll underfuel people, mainly in series with live safety cars, because it doesn't realise that it is under safety car, so it just thinks that all of a sudden you're using 0.1 of a litre per lap, for example, compared to maybe a 4 litre burn per lap. To use gallons, you might be using half a gallon instead of using 1.5 gallons per lap, as you might normally would because you're running slower. So then across the 10 lap average that it pulls, it thinks, oh, you only need this much fuel because you've spent 3 laps driving slow, so I'm going to underfuel you by 3 laps because it hasn't realised that, well, in fact, you've saved a lap of fuel, but you still need another 2. So it doesn't quite have the wherewithal with that. With DRE, you can talk to it. You can say, right, I need this amount of fuel, whether it's litres or gallons, whatever it may be. You say, I need this amount of fuel to put this amount of fuel in it. You can say to it, I need it. If you have the ability to change wing angle or rocker arms, whatever it may be, you can say change rocker arms to this amount. So when you come into pit lane, it should change your settings on your car as you come into your pit box. So it has those abilities. They've been a long-time supporter of the channel as well. Direct link is in the stream subscription of every one of our streams to DRE Digital Race Engineer. We cannot recommend them enough. Of course, as well, as we've been showing on the bottom of the screen for the last few laps, we need to shout out our newest stream sponsor too, the Roasted Record, who's also on board with us within our partnership as well with Full Throttle Nation and their Ultimate GT Championship as well. They've gone on board with those guys too as a title sponsor for that series, on the series that we call here on the channel. Not only can you go into the store, buy yourself a record and a coffee, get yourself a brew and a tune, you can also order from the website, Jake, to your door. And you can get some premium pre-roasted coffee that you can make yourself at home. Use code SIM20 at checkout for 20% off your order. And I believe they ship US-wide. I'm unsure about international orders. I do believe they will send to other countries within North America, though, such as Canada or possibly Mexico or something like that. But yeah, they're based down in Florida. They've shown us great support we love them for their support as well. So massive shout out to those guys too. And then yeah, of course to the series sponsors as well. I mean, they help get the series on board for us. They help bring everything to us. You mentioned J-Dog's Carpentry, of course, Admin Box, and then as well the iApp too, brought to you by XCAL here for the XCAL Webshop series as well. But we are well within 140 laps of this race now. We're just under the 40-minute marker of this race. And at this stage, it is Matt Bear who leads the way as pit stops have been underway. J-Dog Seams, Jose Gadina, and Stephen Rex are in pit lane now. John Canizaro Jr. came in on lap 130 as Richie Joplin is now in. So Matt Bear is remaining the only car on the lead lap at the front end of town.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this going to get interesting, as we've talked about numerous times. Hamish, we'll see what happens. As there you see Bear now, he'll jump it down pit road. Albert Hewins, he is now staying out on the racetrack. There's David Malgi. They're trying to stay out as well. David Malgi, one of those drivers in that Rookie of the Year points battle, trying to mix it up as well. And certainly tried to make it happen. Malgi's still out there on the racetrack. There is Earl Seams. There is John Canizaro Jr. trying to get back up here, trying to mix it back up as well. And you see these old boys jumping down, getting themselves 4 tires, filling it up, doing what they got to do as far as the strategy and all that goes. But John Canizaro Jr. last lap, that mind you, 15.971. So here he is up here trying to log him some laps. 970 that time, obviously, for Canizaro Jr. as he works his way going into turn number 3. Mind you on this, Hamish, we talked about this, or I said something about it before the green flag dropped. Remember, the entrance to pit road here is weird as hell. For NASCAR fans, if they think about this place kind of reminds them of Phoenix, just a little bit. You think of Phoenix a little bit, when they come off of turn number 2 now, which used to be turn number 4 before they done the revamp and all that, and then they put the start-finish line over there where the dog leg was, which is where it should have been to start with. I'm going on a rant, Hamish, but anyway. When you go into turn number 3 here, obviously you see right there, there's the pit wall down on the inside where Canizaro Jr. is going around. They jump down through there. They go into the pits. That's where you start. You go all the way down the front stretch, come all the way around right there, that green cone that you saw right there for just a split second over to the right. That is the pit exit. So literally from 3 all the way to 2, make sure y'all got that right, from 3 all the way to 2 is your pit road here at the Bullring. Crazy deal out of that right there, how the pit road is here at the Bullring, obviously just outside, as you mentioned, Hamish, just outside of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, right here in Sin City as well. And, when I think of Sim City, Hamish, hang on a second. I took a shot of whiskey there. I'm just kidding. It was Mountain Dew. But when I think of Sin City, I think of casinos, and I think of funny stories of when I went to casinos. I don't have any. I'll be honest with you. I had a good couple of memories when I went to casinos on boats and, up in North Carolina and everything else. But 9 times out of 10, I go to casino, I just absolutely I get mad. I hate it.
The closest I've been to a casino, Jake, in terms of gambling at a casino, is on Grand Theft Auto Online. That is the closest I've been to actually gambling at a casino. One thing I will say is though, and now I've actually forgot my point that I was going to say. So you can disregard. Yeah, it's gone. It's out of my brain. It's gone now. I can't even remember.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. No. I don't even know what I was going to say.
Because
we'll see if it comes back. No. I remember my point now. You had Mountain Dew.
Go.
So it's an interesting fact for you about Mountain Dew. Since you did mention you had a shot of whiskey, but it wasn't actually, it was Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew originally was made as a mixer for whiskey.
Really?
Yes.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I saw a video of someone apparently I think it's the blackberry Jack Daniels mix of Mountain Dew. Apparently, it's very good.
I heard something about a down home Jack Daniels. I heard something about it. A good buddy of mine, he told me about it last night. I can't remember the actual name of it. I have to look, but it was like down home Jack Daniels. You can buy it at Walmart. Like, I mean, seriously, like you can buy this shit at Walmart. Let me look right here. Jack. Well, see, I thought it was Jack Daniels Throwdown Punch, but I think he said it was really Jack Daniels Down Home Punch, which is exactly what it is. You can buy this at Walmart, which is crazy. And the sad part about this, so Hamish, if you think about it, is our leader, David Mauji, actually coming down pit road. So Matthew Bear is actually going to jump out. He will assume the lead once he gets back around. And he's got about a 3-second lead over Catazero Jr., which has the 3-second lead over Richie Joplin. So you got about a 6-second swing right there. But I was at Walmart earlier today. I never thought about going over there and looking. I feel like a dumbass.
There is certainly
like seriously. I mean,
there is certainly a combination of items you can buy from Walmart at any time, Jake. Depending on the part of the US you live in, of course, with the legalities of what Walmart can sell. There is certainly a combination of things you can buy from a Walmart. It can literally be a one-stop shop for nearly everything. Just maybe get yourself a Costco membership instead. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, well, lap 160 at 400 at this point now. We're edging closer to the halfway point of this race. Gone green flag the whole way around. We're still on road to go 100 minutes across this race, so a little under 2 hours at this point. Obviously, cautions could still have a factor tonight. The way they're driving, though, they're not looking like they're going to give us a caution anytime soon. It's not like putting a tap dance studio on top of a minefield. I don't think we're going to get massive explosions anytime at any place here tonight, Jake, but who knows? We could start to see some aggression towards the end of the race. Could start to see that compound down to some chaos by drivers getting a little bit more desperate as battles are continuing on with McKee, Andrews, and I think that is Richie Joplin just trying to lap them at this point. But I think from what we've seen this season, often at times the caution will come later in the race, whether that's through a little bit of brain fog, some degradation, or even just some energy levels dropping as well. And that may come together tonight for us to see possibly one caution, but I doubt we're going to see a caution fest towards the end.
Don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Honestly, Hamish, I mean, that's just me. I mean, it sounds crazy when I say that, but don't catch the chickens. Like, seriously, because, I mean, you never know what can happen. We're right there, not too far away from the halfway point here, here in this race. It could definitely get a little interesting. But, before it's all said and done, we may end up getting a couple of cautions. I mean, you just never know. You never know what's going to happen. Not necessarily in XCAL, but just in our racing period. Me and you, we've called races for other leagues, and, we would sit there and like, hell, this old boy right here, this son of a bitch has got it in the bag. He's going to end up winning this race. We knew. We literally would have put the money on it that, this old boy's going to win the race. Real quick, shout out. Nope, not yet. They ain't made it around yet. We're waiting on Bear to hurry the hell up, get around so we can hit the salute. But, Hamish, it's like I said before, you just don't know. Shout out to the 69. But you just don't know. What could happen. I mean, we could get to about 100 laps to go, and then it'd be a straight up caution fest and everybody fucking wreck. You don't know. It just depends. But it does have that feeling of we're fixing to go into a green flag run, and a long green flag run that could potentially, like you said, make it all the way to the end of the race. Only time will tell with that. But we'll see. We'll see what we got.
We will see what we've got, and we'll see how far we can make it into this race. If we do get a caution, when it will come, and which drivers are going to be involved as well, and it's always a factor we have to be cautious of all throughout, and one that I think that we always have to be aware of, because ultimately it could come at any stage. It's never guaranteed, but it's never guaranteed not to happen either. It's a little bit of Schrodinger's cat. You don't quite know if and when it is going to happen on the road for us here this evening, or even across the whole season as well. I mean, of course, next week we go racing out at Irwindale for the outer circuit. This week and next week, Jake, the first time I've actually had to call a race at the Bullring or Irwindale. So I had to buy both those tracks this week. Shout out Jim, who helped fund the circuits for me this week and next week. I don't know when I'm ever going to go back to the Bullring or Irwindale, but got them
Probably
now.
never.
Probably
I'd just
never.
take a wild guess. I'd say probably not.
Probably never. I was checking the other day, though, how many tracks I have left on iRacing to buy. I have 31 circuits currently on iRacing left to buy, none of which are road courses, majority of which are dirt ovals.
Really?
Yep, and it calculated out, it's $337 USD for me to buy every single track now that I have left.
So I'm going to take a wild guess. Just wild guess here. I'm going to say that you never really got into the dirt racing scene. You just never got into it, right?
I've never had to call a dirt oval race. I've never really raced dirt oval outside of rookies. I've never made it up to Class D. Dirt road is my absolute shit. I love Pro 2 trucks. I love Pro 2 lights, Pro 4s. Dirt road is sweet. There is only one dirt road circuit I don't own, and that is Bark River, which is often called the best dirt road circuit on iRacing, so it's kind of a heinous crime that I don't own it. But yeah, I never really got into doing sprint car stuff or midgets or anything like that on iRacing, so I've never had to buy the Chili Bowl. I've never had to buy any of the dirt ovals. There's a couple of IndyCar ovals I don't own. I don't own the Milwaukee Mile. I don't own Kentucky Speedway. I don't own Dover either. So there's quite a few that I'm yet to purchase in the form of circuits on iRacing. I don't even own iRacing Super Speedway.
Oh, you got to get it.
I also don't own New Hampshire, but I'm going to need to buy it for next season because I need it for another NASCAR series that I call. So I will have to buy New Hampshire. And then I don't own tracks like Port Royal. I don't own the dirt track at Charlotte, Williams Grove, Weed Sport, Volusia. I don't own. The only road course I don't own is Mount Washington Auto Road Hill Climb Circuit. Because I don't do the hill climb, so I don't need to.
You seriously need to get a hold of some dirt tracks, and iRacing Super Speedway really is the one you really. That hurt my feelings,
dude. It's whack.
It's seriously,
it's long with really two corners on it ultimately because they're long bends for the turns. It's weird.
Yeah, but you do know they haul ass around that place. You can go about 240 around that bitch.
I know. I want to get it, and I want to see COT cars go around there because it would be hilarity, I'm sure. But yeah, every road course though I own, except for Mount Washington, because I don't need it at this point. And then there's a couple of rovals I don't have, like New Hampshire and Legacy Texas Motor Speedway. But dedicated road courses, I own every dedicated road course.
Well, I would think. But seriously, you need to get a couple of them tracks. You need to check them out. Watch some racing on iRacing. Get out there. If you want to try to get into it, I mean, you got options out of it. But certainly that iRacing Super Speedway, pay the money.
Oh,
you ever saw Rush Hour? You ever saw Rush Hour?
No, but
you never saw Rush Hour with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan.
Oh, but I've seen bits and pieces. I've probably watched Rush Hour once when I was very, very young. Not for a long time though.
Because the old man at the end of it says, pay the money, pay the fucking money. You want to do that, yes.
I slowly chipped away at a long time of getting road courses, a lot of which were obviously supplemented from commentating jobs, but I slowly but surely got the road courses. I may slowly but surely get dirt ovals if it's to the point that they're the only tracks I need and I become a completionist and I just want to own everything. Ain't no way I'm going to try and own every single car, because I don't need to own every single car. Not until I have to call a race for every single car. I am not buying every single one. That is not an investment I'm willing to make, because I don't drive that often. It's not worth me buying the cars, it's more worth me buying the tracks.
You do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do to make it happen. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Matt Bear Sr. still leads it. John Catazero Jr. hold down in the P2 spot. Richie Joplin, he's actually jumped right up on his back door that you're watching live right here on Motormouth Broadcasting. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, keep up with this great channel. Everything that the Avman's Jim Cunningham and all the big dogs over here with Motormouth Broadcasting has got going on. So show them a little love, show them a little support, and keep on trucking right here with us. Keeping up with XCAL, obviously with the XCAL Street Stock Series. Obviously, you've got other series as well going on. Obviously, with Sunday nights, if you love you a little bit of truck racing. Obviously, me and Jim Cunningham calling them for Heart to Heart Motorsports Truck Series going on Sunday nights. Hamish, I know you got some other stuff going on, obviously, here on Motormouth Broadcasting. I just don't know what the hell that is. If you would be so kind to tell everybody kind of what you got going on right here with Motormouth.
Oh, well, tomorrow night we've got Full Throttle Nations Ultimate GT Championship. We're racing 90 minutes at Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. For those who don't know what that is, that's Interlagos. So it'll be a 90-minute race, GT3s and GT4s racing together. Friday, straight after, around about halfway through the start time of Oakhouse Truck Series, myself, Wesley, Outland, and Jim will be in the booth for the MVRL Truck Series as well. We'll be going racing there after they've had a week off the last week for the Daytona 500. So they had a week off last week for the 500. So now we're going racing once again and back with them again as well. And we'll be racing out at... there's going to be an interesting one for you, Jake, and this will actually have to be a track I have to buy, I'm pretty sure. Although, actually, no, I may not have to. It might be included in iRacing. Eldora Speedway. They're doing 10-lap heats, 60-lap feature, dirt racing in NASCAR trucks. It is going to be a fun time. If you guys want to see something that I think is going to be an absolute barn burner event, you need to come and watch us Thursday night. It is going to be absolutely intense. It starts at around about 9 p.m. Eastern time for you US viewers out there. It's 1 p.m. for me, local, so it's a great start time for me. But yeah, 10-lap heat, 60-lap feature. These guys, they have got 43 grid slots available to them, Jake. They have about 60 guys that show up for qualifying, so they normally knock about 17 drivers away who don't get to race, and the 43 move on to race in the event. So yeah, it's going to be a wild one. That is going to be one to watch. It's going to be something different, but something really, really fun.
Everything going on here at Motormouth Broadcasting. Obviously, make sure, like we said, like, hit the subscribe, ring the bell, keep up with everything going on this great channel, which is Motormouth Broadcasting. Matt Bear, King Matthew Bear, leading it. Honestly, I think he might have took offense to what I said earlier. Honestly, Hamish, I talked about it earlier that he needed to, get up off his ass and do something. He's doing it. Like literally, I mean, he is doing it right now up here at the front, leading by over right at 7 seconds, just past the halfway point. We're only an hour down. So these old boys, they're really putting in the work and putting in the time and keeping it clean, keeping it green, and doing a pretty damn good job of it right here with XCAL Webshop Series for round 5 here at the Bullring. Matt Barrett leads it. We'll give you a kind of a rundown of where everybody is at. Let you know where your favorite driver or hooligan or however you want to look at it is running. Matthew Bear, he leads. He's basically up 2 spots before he started. He started in the P3 spot. Took the lead right before the pit stops. Pretty much cycled back out, got back out front, and he ain't looked back yet. So, obviously, Bear had some issues earlier on this season. He's trying to bounce back from that and, basically try to be back as the king, self-proclaimed king, and try to actually be the king and actually have a reason to call himself the king, at least in my fucking eyes. Richie Joplin, he started on the pole. We talked to him before the race. Richie obviously doing a fantastic job trying to get back up there. Remember, we talked about it. He's a truck driver, which is pretty cool. That's hard-working American. If you got a working man's hero and you're looking for one here in this league, Richie Joplin's probably your guy. Like, he really is. Working man's hero, truck driver. I know about that as well. I've got my CDLs. I know how it is driving trucks, and I know how it is trying to make sure we duck and dodge all of the stupid sumbitches out there on the road. Shout out to Richie Joplin for having to deal with it just like I do on a daily basis. John Catazero. We don't know too much about this old boy. Really, I mean, unless he snuck up on us at 5 Flags, I have no idea who the hell he is. But John Catazero Jr. In the 66 right out here at MP3. Like I said, he might have been at 5 Flags. I don't know. I don't remember. That was 2 weeks ago.
This is his first race in XCAL ever. So just to confirm, he's not been here this season or ever before. So he's doing a great job in P3 in his very first race ever in XCAL. This is a great effort from John.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very good run right here for John Catazero. Up top 2 spots before he started, sitting in the P3, trying to hold it down. Behind him in the 4th spot is Jack McKee. Now, this is weird because Jack, sitting in the spot that he's in, Catazero's right in front of him. Richie Joplin's right in front of him. Here's the problem. If he passes him, doesn't really make a shit. He's got to go around him again. He is a lap down on these old boys right here, which is a bad spot for Jack McKee to be in. But remember, he qualified 6th. He started from the pits, so literally he gave up his 6th spot. Whether or not he got a penalty or not, I'm not sure. But he had to start it from the pits, and he drove his ass off and got back up here inside the top 5, which now gets passed by Stephen T. Rex, your Charlotte winner and the season opener winner. But good drive out of the 23 of Jack McKee, trying to hold it down and try to get up here, get the top 5, get some points, and have a good run-in here at the Bullring. We'll go just in front of him, the man that just passed him, which was obviously Stephen T. Rex. There's Stephen T. Rex. He's in the 70. He was 5th. Now he's 4th. That's why we're fucking talking about him, because he decided to pass Jack McKee in the middle of me talking about Jack McKee and try to give a summary throughout this race. Rex has kind of been iffy throughout this race. We saw him a while ago. He was one of the, earlier on, he went a lap down. He's a lap down right now, but he went a lap down kind of quick. So your Charlotte winner still trying to get some momentum back. Bad part about it is when you get yourself in a bad spot, like Rex has, you start off the season opening wet. Obviously, with all these team owners and everything that they got going on in XCAL, you start off the season opener, bam, good for you. You win the race. That buys you some time. Holy shit. Since then, Rex has just been in a bad slump. At least from what we've been seeing. Rex, he's got to get something going, but he gets the top 4 out of this, gets the top 5, might be a lap down. Fuck it. Get him a top 5. He should be good to go. That'll help him out to build some momentum throughout the rest of the season. Now, Jack McKee, we already talked about him. He just got passed by Rex. So we'll flip-flop back. We'll go back to Albert Hewins, Alb Hewins. You see how his little heart rate monitor, I guess you could say, looks right here from where he was, from how he started. Obviously started 7th. He bumped up a little bit. He went up. Then that's when the pit range went right there, about 144-ish. Boom, shot right through the damn floor. Right back up is where he goes. But kind of a quiet night out of Hewins. sitting in the P6 spot is exactly where he sits. You flip-flop back, you can look back at Sean Andrews. Andrews back into the 7th spot, trying to run down Hewins, and not too far off. About 2 seconds back from Hewins into 55. Andrews in the 04. Remember, he was one of those old boys that really got on the loud pedal, sent that sumbitch at the start, got up through there, was up 7 spots from where he started at one point. Actually was in a little bit of a battle with Jose Godino on who was going to get the better of each other and be up the most spots. Right now, he's tied with Ryan Sames and obviously Stephen T. Rex for the most positions gained of 4 at this time. Andrews, not a quiet night, but starting to quiet off just a little bit right here past the halfway point. Ryan Sames right behind him. Haven't talked a whole lot about the 131 of Ryan Sames, but he's trying to get up here, get in behind Andrews and have a shot, try to mix it up with him for the P7 spot. Ryan Sames matching Sean Andrews as far as positions gained is actually now Rex has lost a spot to Jack McKee. Jack McKee was able to get around him for that P4 spot, but Ryan Sames still sitting in the 8th spot, having himself a somewhat quiet night as well. Just be consistent, get you some points, get you a good finish, and get the hell out of Vegas with a solid position, solid top 10. Right behind him, David Malgi, one of the rookies. See him right here in the middle of a fucking hornet's nest, right here, literally with Joplin, with Rex, with McKee and Rex. It just, excuse me, Canizero Jr. I got the 6, 7, and 70 mixed up. David's smack dab in the middle of all of it. You know, he's got 2 battles going on, one in front of him and one on his ass. That's a bad spot right there for Malgi to be in right there. But honestly, if I was him, I'd jump ship. I'd pull out and just say, fuck this, and I'd just pull out of the way because you got guys right there battling for positions and everything, and you're smack dab in the middle of it. If I'm David Malgi, I'm pulling out of the way. I'm getting gone. Rounding out the top 10, this is the last driver we will talk about, obviously, is Jose Godino. Sitting in the 10th spot, he's up 3 spots. Was one of those bigger movers at the start that just absolutely hit the nitrous button and showed us that for a moment, we thought his car was illegal. Like, we really did. We thought his car, we thought Sean Andrews' car was illegal, just how fast they shot up through the field and shot past every damn body that was out there. And Godino was up about 7 or 8 spots. Like I said, him and Andrews back to back, back and forth, back and forth. Didn't know who the hell was going to have the biggest mover. It has died off in a fucking hurry. He has dropped. I mean, he was up there, up inside the top 5, and something happened to the 20. Honestly, I think he burned his shit up. You know, if you want my honest opinion, I think he burned his stuff up. You see the graph, bam, shot all the way up into the top 5, and then after that, it's just like literally watching water roll through a river down a damn, just down a damn moonshine spot, you know, just trying to line up with the moonshine still, rolling right off a fucking hill. Literally, that's what it looks like. Going down, 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 all the way down to where he made his pit stop, shot right back up, then went all the way back down, and then he kind of flatlined. So, you know, the heart rate monitor right there, Hamish, from what we've seen from a lot of guys, it's either you're going straight up or you're going straight down, and then you spike and all kinds of other shit. Some of these old boys might be on life support before it's all said and done. And, Hamish, you may have to take over for just a quick second because I'm going to be on life support if I don't get some fucking tobacco. So have at it, buddy.
Yeah, get that shoe in you, Jake. Get it in the side of your cheek, whatever it might be, and just prep yourself for, as we prepare ourselves now. We're approaching the final 150 laps of this race here tonight. We've got just an absolute cornucopia of cars together here. This little train's being led by Ryan Sames, we focused on a little bit earlier on. But in amongst it is this battle for P2 between Canizaro and Joplin as they fight for P2 supremacy right now. They are 12 seconds behind the race leader, Matthew Bear. Matt Bear could lap the whole field as he is only a few seconds away from the back of that train. He has nearly lapped the whole field, and we've not even hit lap 250 yet of this 400 lap race. He wants to go better than Rondoletto. He wants to show up Rondoletto in the effort that he did last week. and he wants to try and push these guys to their absolute limits here tonight. Cannizzaro on debut, doing a great job here this evening, up 2 spots into P3 in the 66 car. Great effort. Richie Joplin, a breakout performance tonight. Started on pole, still running up in and around the top 3, could get himself a podium. The problem is, if he goes a lap down on Bear, it is going to be a hellhole to try and crawl out of, get your lap back, and then try and take the race lead as well. It's going to be nigh impossible. It's going to take a mistake from Matthew Bear for this to happen. This train and this battle pack right now of cars is not helping Cannizzaro or Joplin's case, because Bear is just steamrolling his way forward, and he's steamrolling his way up to that train. As soon as he catches it, he's only got to get past the likes of Joe Campbell, who's tucked up here, as well as then Ryan Seams, and then Stephen T. Rex, and then he's at his teammate Cannizzaro. He's only got to get through 3-lap cars, and he's all of a sudden at P3's back bumper. Then he's going to get through Jack McKee, and then he's up to Joplin, and then he's got to get past David Malgi, and he is beyond the train that is still fighting their way at the midway point. As we've hit 250 of 400, 151 laps to go here at the Bullring, as everyone in the field has nearly been bucked away from Matthew Bear, who is only probably, I would say, at least 10 or 15 laps away here. Maybe not, maybe less than that, from lapping the entire field in this race. I didn't think it could get any more dominant than Rondeletto last week, Jake, and King Matthew the Bear has crowned himself tonight if he does this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he 100% has right here. You know, if King Matthew Bear can really make it happen right here, if he can really show that, yes, I mean, that certainly he can be the king of all of this. The only thing is that he's got to be able to lock her down. You know what I mean? He's got to be able to lock it down, and he's got to be able to make it happen. Granted, as big a lead as he has right here, if you look right here in front of him, not too far ahead of him, there they are. Right there. There's Rex. There's Cannizzaro Jr. And obviously Richie Joplin not too far ahead of them as well. You talked about this a second ago, Hamish. The King Matthew Bear could certainly lap the whole field. Who has done that this season? Take a wild guess. Octavio Rondeletto, the showman, he has done it. You see right there, Ryan Seams just pulling out of the way and jumping out of the way and just letting Bear slide right by. And Bear, once he took the lead, after he battled with Cannizzaro Jr., he pretty much checked out, and he's left everybody. You know, you got 2 guys 1 lap down. You got Jack McKee, you got Stephen T. Rex. They are 1 lap down. Everybody else, well, with the exception, there's 3 of them behind them. You got Hewins, you got Andrews, and you got Malgi. They're 2 laps down. Rest of them 3 laps down or more. One of those drivers we talked about, J-Dog Seams, 88. He's still out there on the racetrack. He's down 10 spots from where he started. Hamish, I still ain't got a clue what happened to J-Dog as to why he ended up falling literally like a rock and falling down as hard as he did. But, you know, I don't want to say it the wrong way, and I don't want to piss some of his fans off, but literally he just fell off a damn cliff. Just literally fell on his ass. I don't know what happened. I don't know if somebody got into him. I don't know if somebody ended up turning him around, and that's why he's back there, and the caution didn't come out, and he got hosed out of it. I'm not sure what happened with J-Dog, but now he's up to the 11th spot because Jose Godino actually coming down pit road, taking a pit stop right here on lap 26. I believe he went in on 259. So, but there's Bear. He has caught Rex. He has caught right there on the back door, breathing down John Cannizzaro Jr.'s back door. And right there is the 3rd spot. Oh, baby. Here comes Bear. Bear down to the inside going after Rex. Maybe slide in a little bit more. Try to see if he can take a shot. Try to put Cannizzaro 1 lap down.
Well, he's right there, and he's able to put the pressure on him. Can he try and get past his own teammate, put him a lap down, and then chase down the 2.5-second gap up to Richie Joplin, who's just ahead of Malgi and McKee. Bear goes down the inside. His teammate's not going to make it hard for him. And Matt Bear, by lap 263 or 400 tonight, has already done the job of Rondoletto last time out 2 weeks ago out at Five Flags Speedway. He has lapped everybody barring P2 on the road. And ultimately, Jake, he's only a handful of laps away from doing it again as Cannizzaro's into pit lane for his scheduled second stop. But the next time he comes in, I would argue he should have enough to get home because there's drivers who've gone 140 laps previously, so this should be his final stop of the race. Cannizzaro should be able to make it home from here, and he should be fine to make it home from here, knowing the sort of, or the amount of laps they've been running up to this stage. But for Matt Bear, I mean, it is just a dominant performance, absolutely dominant performance. And again, 2 weeks, two rounds in a row, I should say, just an absolute washout. An absolute washout.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's got to step up. I mean, seriously, if you're going to go 2 rounds in a row where everyone is being lapped by the race leader, something's going to happen. Something's got to be done to try and limit this from happening again.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, honestly, like you said, Hamish, I mean, Rondoletto, he was the one that was doing all of that and, putting drivers one lap down. I mean, the whole field one lap down, which is what Rondoletto was doing. And now Bear's doing it as well. As you start to see Sean Andrews going down pit road, Cannizaro Jr. still down pit road as well. Earl Sims jumping down pit road as well. John Cannizaro actually coming out of pit road. But, yeah, I agree with you 100%. Eventually, they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to do something. Everybody's going to have to put the pedal down and start trying. Start doing something. Start making it happen. Because if they don't try to make it happen and they don't do something right here, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly because there's going to be drivers that is literally like King Matthew Bear just coming out here and just putting a straight-up ass whooping on them and finishing it off. I mean, which is exactly what he is doing. They're going to have to do something. These old boys, they're going to have to start putting some practice in. I really thought there was going to be a whole lot of them that was going to put more practice in. And, with having that week off, I thought we were going to see a little bit more, action and more drivers actually getting more practice in and going out there and busting ass and taking shots and not having this right here. But doesn't look like it. Either that or Bear put in more time than everybody else here at the Bullring. Is showing right here as he dives down on the inside of the 48 of Gerald Poole to put him one more lap down.
Yeah, I mean, it is, it's counting upon counting, and by the time he laps everyone, which we're only going to be a few moments away from him lapping everybody, we've still got a little over 100 laps to go of this race. So, that then begs the question, well, have we gone maybe 100 laps too long? If he is lapping everyone by this point of the race. I mean, have we gone 100 laps too long? Is that then the question asked of, should it be slightly shorter? Because that way, maybe everyone then tries to push a bit harder instead of trying to stay so clean. I don't know, Jake. I think if he laps Richie Joplin before we get to lap 300, which is likely going to happen, you could end it on lap 300 because I don't see a world in which they unlap themselves and then they get back past him again to take back the race lead across those final 100 laps. It'll be 100 laps or 10 minutes of him just pushing on.
Very good possibility out of that, and I agree with you 100% on that. On that saying right there, out of that right there, I agree. That you can pretty much call it right there at 300, but obviously cautions can happen. As now we see Matthew Bear taking the opportunity, jumping down pit road for his pit stop, and Richie Joplin now he's going to have to literally gang back up and get back up here just to get back to the lead. That's the thing. He's got to get all the way back up here and try to get back up here.
Is he even going? He'll take the lead, but he's not going to gain a lap on Matt. So he'll take the lead from Matt, but Matt's going to come out on the same lap as him. That's... Oh, well, actually, no, I'm wrong. Sorry. because I believe they lose about 2 or 3 laps in pit lane because of the amount of time they're actually in pit lane. But this is going to be a shorter stop for Matt. It's going to be, he only needs 120 laps worth of fuel. And you spoke about cautions and what that could do for them. Still doesn't get rid of the fact that only one car is going to get put back on the lead lap if there is a caution. And it would be Joplin who'd get put back on the lead lap. So we'd still be in the case of there's 2 cars who are on the lead lap at this stage of the race.
Richard Joplin now, he's going to stay out, get him a couple of laps led right here. As King Matthew Bear starting to work his way back out on the racetrack after making his pit stop, getting himself lined up to get back out here to try to retake the lead. And this could be the part right here, Hamish, this is what I was talking about, that could really throw it for a curveball. Really and truthfully, if you look at how this all worked out right here, as Richie Joplin went in on lap 141, this is 284. These literally are money stops. That's exactly what these are right here, because they can go all the way to the end now. And I mean, yeah, this is money stops right here, what these old boys is doing. Obviously, Bear already made his money stop as you see him starting to work his way back up through here. David Malgi has yet to jump down to make that pit stop again, but Bear already made his. And, he made it on 279, it's 285, so this is the money stop right here. So Bear jumps back out, barring a caution, this thing's over.
Well, exactly, and ultimately, so the interesting point actually I've just noticed, so David Malgi went 158 laps on his first stint. That would take him to lap 316. Shout out Stone Cold.
Mm-hmm.
Take him to lap 316 would mean then he'd only need a... let me do the math quickly. It would be a 85 lap stint. So he only needs 85 laps worth of fuel. Oh, that there is... He may actually gain some spots because of that. Because of the point of 85 laps worth of fuel. As, by the way, Matt Bear has just come past pit exit as Richie Joplin's come out. He's now officially lapped everyone in the field. So when David Malgi comes out, Matt Bear is going to be a lap ahead of the entire field in this race.
Yeah, and that pretty much.
And I think ultimately Joplin has overfueled the car because he's coming 5 laps later than Bear. He's taken a 59-second stop. Bear's was only 50 seconds. He's overfueled that car. And that's what's put him a lap down on Bear ultimately at this point. And in fact, he's at risk of going 2 laps down on Bear because he's only just ahead of him up the road.
At that point, once it gets to the point and they do that the way that it is, Hamish, you more or less got to say it.
And that'll do it. Woo! Start the buses. Pour Larry a crown.
That's pretty much it. Literally, that's what it is. That's literally what it is. Pour the crown, start the buses, get them on the haulers. This bitch is over with. Barring no caution, barring something crazy not happening, it's over.
Okay, we've had confirmation that 3 cars will get a wave around if we get a caution.
Right.
That's good. 3 cars get a wave around. At this point, Matt Bear is edging onto 2 laps ahead of everyone. So even if 3 cars get a wave around, he's still going to be a lap ahead of everyone in the field. It's dominance. It's pure dominance by Matt Bear. And a very consistent race and a great race from Matt Bear, it must be said. And ultimately has just curb stomped the performance that Rondeletto had last time out at 5 Flags. He has said, you've lapped everyone barring P2. I'm going to lap everyone 2 times over.
Well, you got to think, though, Hamish. You got to think. Obviously, Road to Pro, I talked about that. And for those of you that don't know what Road to Pro is, which honestly, Hamish, I mean, there's some people that honestly don't know what the hell that is. There's some people that don't know what Road to Pro is. So let me kind of explain that to a certain extent. It's basically there is this session. It used to be on Thursday nights. I used to do a little bit of Road to Pro racing myself. Granted, I was never in the top tier splits where, there's the guys that call it like I said, they don't have jobs. That have our ratings up into the 7,000s and all those big numbers up there. My rating's never been that high. I think the highest my rating has ever gotten is like 4,100. That was the highest that it ever got. I was never able to put the time in and put the pressure on myself, and put the work in to make it up to a $7,000. That, and I just ain't got the fucking speed, and I just ain't that good, to be honest. But it's a session, like I said, where it used to be on Thursday nights. It has, for some reason, flipped, and now on Tuesday nights when they do it. And they separate them by splits. It's more or less an official race, where drivers can go in and they can test their, I rating against other drivers and I rating, set them by splits, and they go out there and then they race. Meanwhile, we're 90 or 100 laps away from the finish here tonight at the Bullring for round 5. But back to the point, the Road to Pro, if you get high enough into splits and you do good enough because you keep points for each one of the Road to Pro races, I think there's 12 of them if I'm not mistaken. But they keep points on it, and the top 25 in those points, you get so many points as high as your I rating is. Now, Rondoletto, he's pretty high up there. Now, is he in that $7,000 range? I don't believe he is, but I think he is up in the $5,000 range, which is a hell of a lot higher than my ass is. But he's got a shot. He gets some good finishes, gets some good shots out of it. The top 25, I believe, they take those drivers and have a shot, and then they narrow them down to top 25, top 30, I believe, and they narrow them down, and then they let them race after the Road to Pro Series is over with. So they put them all together. They go for the points, and eventually you have real NASCAR teams like Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, RFK, Junior Motorsports that has the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts, used to be the Xfinity Series team. They will pick some drivers out. Hendrick Motorsports, Team Penske, and we'll pick some drivers. 2311, Joe Gibbs Racing, all these big NASCAR teams, believe it or not, have sim racing teams, and they will pull these guys out to possibly get them on their race team, sign them to a contract to race for them in the NASCAR Racing Series. I believe it was, I believe it's still the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series, which is what it is. I think Coca-Cola's still with them. I'm not 100% on that, but that is what Octavio Rondoletto is attempting to do, is to take a shot. And certainly with the skill that we have seen here in this series, Hamish, I've seen Rondoletto run in other racing series as well, road course races, Xfinity Series races. And mind you, these Road to Pro races, they're in the trucks. So they're in the Craftsman Truck Series models of what they're doing. Once they get into that next level, if Rondoletto can make it into that next level, they will run the Xfinity cars. They won't run the Cup cars or the next gen or Gen 7 or whatever the hell they call them now. But that's what he is driving in tonight in the Las Vegas series race. I believe it started at 9. So yeah, I mean, or it might have started at 8. Like I said, I'm not 100% on it, but I do know the concept of it because I used to try to race in it. I wasn't racing to try to make it into the NASCAR series because, like I said, my rating was never high enough. But I raced in it because it gives you good I rating and can help you to a stepping stone to try to get your I rating up. Here's the problem. The very first race was always Daytona. I always got wrecked. Every single fucking time. I got wrecked at Daytona. Every single time. I never had a shot when I raced right off the bat. But certainly I did enjoy racing in it. And, another thing, Hamish, is that, with these official series that they have, they usually split them up in divisions. You have Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. It depends on what your I rating is. Not in the Road to Pro. In the Road to Pro, everybody is in one division. So they take the top 25, top 30 in points of that one division out of, hell, hundreds, if not thousands of people that get in and they run those Road to Pro races. They take the top 30 in those points. So if Rondoletto did good last week when they went to Daytona, and he does good tonight at Vegas, and he gets himself up there pretty good high up in the points, you could be looking at a showman, Octavio Rondoletto, going into the final qualifiers to have a shot to try to race for an NASCAR Series team. And that would be something that would be very well accomplished for him. And Hamish, really, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for taking a shot and seeing what happens at it.
No, that's right. I have just checked, by the way. So to give you the rundown on Rondoletto's licenses on iRacing. So from his lowest to highest, Dirt Oval, 2.4K Class C license. 2,439 exactly. Dirt Road, Class B, 4,259. Formula license, Class B, 5,399. Sports car, Class A, 6,234. Oval, Class A, 7,545.
There you go.
And obviously, if he were to make Road to Pro and get to the NASCAR Series, he would earn an iRacing Pro license if he were to do that. I have seen one driver, I've called a race of one driver before, who either has that or is eligible for that. I can tell you if they have it or not, because I'm in the league that they're in. And I can tell you if they have it or not. So let me find it. Where is his name? There it is. He does have a pro license. And it's not the license I thought it was, but he does have a pro license. So this person is Damon Woods, who is 7th in the world for sports car racing. His sports car license is Class A, 11,150. His pro license that he has is Formula Racing, 10,108. So that is the level that Octavio Rondoletto is trying to get to. He's trying to get to a pro license. Fair play to him if he gets it, because it's very rare you find someone with a pro license on iRacing.
It very much is, Hamish, and it could happen. Like, in all seriousness, it could seriously happen for an Octavio Rondoletto to be able to try to make that happen. And certainly something that, you as well as me, both of us, and even with the XCAL guys, even though he's not here, certainly something that I would think that everybody is going to be kind of watching for tonight and throughout, the weeks ahead, to see exactly how Rondoletto is going to stack up. I'm curious about it my damn self, just to see how it's going to work out, because you pull for these guys. I mean, seriously, you pull for these old boys to have a shot and try to make it happen. Matter of fact, he ran the Las Vegas race. He ran that Las Vegas race. Actually, it started at 7:45. I thought it started at about 8 or 9, but apparently it started at 7:45. He ran in that race, and I'm sitting here looking at it, and Rondoletto ends up finishing in the 16th spot, but he still got 250 points. That's a shitload of points.
That is.
Believe it or not, for 16th spot. I mean, that literally is whoever finished. You'd have to win split 4 just to have that shot, just to get those points. So Rondoletto, he is in those top split races. And he is in prime position. The only problem is he's going against some guys like Daniel Falkenham and others that are in those positions that are trying to get those spots as well. Falkenham, matter of fact, I believe I saw he won the season opener for the qualifying series at Daytona, which no surprise there. Anybody knows Daniel Falkenham knows he's pretty damn good at them super speedway races. I've seen it happen. But, I mean, good on him. I mean, seriously, good on him to have that opportunity to try. And, you know, Hamish, I've said this before with the numbers game, you know, with the I rating and everything else. You know, some people say, you know, I rating is just a number. Well, I agree with that to a certain extent. It depends. You get guys like Rondoletto and Falkenham and these other guys, you know, Taylor Hurst is one of them that comes to mind as well. You know, Ray Alfala, you know, guys that have raced in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series. That I rating ain't a number. Like literally, them old boys, they can literally strut their shit around. They have earned that right because they are that damn good. Rondoletto's trying to be one of those people to do that, so we'll have to definitely keep a check on that every Tuesday night because, hell, they run every damn Tuesday night, obviously, so we'll still be able to give everybody an idea of how he's doing, what he's doing, where he's at. I don't know where he's at in the points. I'd have to go and I'd have to look and click through there and try to figure it out my damn self to figure out exactly where he's at out of that whole deal. But certainly he's got a shot. And like you said, good on him for for at least taking that shot and being in position to have a shot to try to make it into that. I mean, not a lot of people get that opportunity, Hamish. Not a lot of people get that opportunity. I certainly will never get that opportunity, nor would I want to because I know I'd get my ass kicked so bad. But good on Rondoletto for taking a shot, and all of them, everybody that taking a shot right now in that qualifying series. By all means, good luck to them. Hope the best for you, and hope you can get what you're wanting to get out of it. That would be something that we really, that I would say to those drivers trying to make it happen. Matthew Bear is literally taking a shot now. He's lapped every damn body, and we're coming up on the 50 to go mark.
He hasn't just lapped everybody. He's about to lap his teammate for a second time. So he is literally about to put John Cannizzaro Jr. 2 laps down on the race lead. You want to know where Richie Joplin is? Well, he's only just up the road. So by the time this race ends, there's Richie Joplin. He's just crossing the line. There's Cannizzaro, and there is Matt Bear. By the time this race ends, Matt Bear would have lapped the whole field twice over at the bare minimum. This is going to be a dominant performance.
Yeah, I mean, and Rondoletto probably couldn't even pull that off. I mean, maybe he could, maybe he couldn't. But we'll see as Bear still working his way around the racetrack, 344 of 400 here tonight at the Bullring for XCAL Webshop Series 2026 Round 5. Redneck and Astro Jake Reeves, my good buddy Hamish Monroe doing a fantastic job fighting through the sickness. Co-commentating and producing. That's why you hear this redneck talking as much as I am. Trying to give Hamish as much of help as I can because, folks, I'll say this, Hamish, and I'll say this, to back you up as well, and you can have your comment on this as well, but fans don't understand the hell that us announcers go through when we do these broadcasts, trying to, learn as much as we can. And, granted, we're still trying to learn a little bit out of this XCAL Webshop Series racing, and we still haven't figured everything out. And are we going to figure everything out? Probably not, because it's a completely different thing from what me and you is ever, used to. And, we sacrifice a lot of shit to be able to come out and do these broadcasts and, fighting through sickness, time away from our loved ones, from, our wives, our partners, our kids, to come out here and to do these broadcasts. It takes a toll on people. I mean, it really does. I mean, even though, people can just sit here and say, and granted, Hamish, this may be my beef out of the whole deal, so I'll go ahead and I'll light it up. We got beef! But I don't think people understands what we go through is you see Bear going after Ketazero Jr. to put him another lap down, but I just don't think people understand and realize when people does, when we do these broadcasts as announcers, producers, just the amount of work we attempt and do put into these broadcasts and what we're missing out on while we're doing these broadcasts for the fans and trying to be as entertaining as possible. And sometimes it works out good. Sometimes it doesn't. Hamish, sometimes it just don't. I've called races before where people was blasted my ass for, you don't know what the hell you're talking about and everything else. And you just have that itch to where you want to just tell them, look, you think you can do this shit better? Get your ass in here and see if you can do it better. You think you can do it better? Take my spot and let's see what the fuck happens. Because odds are, I bet you right now, it probably ain't going to be as good. That's just my take, at least on it, because I know how the, Aaron and all of them is that run this league. They're pretty much no censor, so I'm going to be no censor for that part on that is, people just don't understand what we put forth and what we do and what we sacrifice to do these jobs. And then sometimes we still get shit for it, and it gets old. You know what I mean, Hamish? You know what I'm talking about. Just every other league, that we do. There's that one league where it just, everybody hammers you sometimes. And, I've been a part of them. That's why I don't do them anymore. But it is what it is on that, Hamish, and I'm sure you can agree with that.
Oh, I can, 100%. And I think the thing that people don't, I suppose, necessarily understand is it. You mentioned the time that we take away out of our lives to do things like this. Whether it's through being ill or whether it's just taking time away from our loved ones that we could be spending with them. I don't think they quite understand as well, actually, just how difficult it can be, and how much time it takes to be comfortable doing it. I'm over 600 broadcasts into this point across 3 years now on iRacing. I go back and I watch my first broadcasts and they are night and day. Anyone can claim anything they wish. Anyone can claim anything they wish. Those who are in the know about how tough it is know how tough it is to produce and to commentate at the same time without anything being in front of them other than what is on the screen. Jake, I don't do any pre-race preparations for the majority of the races that I do. I will run off the stats that I know, I will run off of the points that I know, and I will remember things. I have memory retention like a library. I will hold on to stats that I feel are important, and I will shoot them out to you. It's gone to the point that I have called the same supercars split and of a league, which has 4 splits, 200 drivers, mind you, that show up. 4 splits. I've called the same split now for coming up on 12 seasons. I can name every champion of that split since I started calling it.
That's dedication.
And not just name the champion. I can name stats about each season, whatever it may be. It is a majority of them. I can name the runner-up as well, and it is just dedication to the point of knowing the stats, doing a little bit of research here or there to check stats in the background. And be like, oh, that's interesting. This person hasn't had a win yet. Oh, they've just had their first win. That's fantastic. It's taken them this many race starts to get a win, whatever it may be. But it is, people will criticize, and I guarantee you, as soon as they get in the booth, it'll be a deer in the headlights. And they won't know what to say.
Yep. I agree, baby. That's how it goes, but that's just how it is as it goes.
I am always someone who is willing to work with anyone, and I'm willing to help people learn along the way. I've given opportunities in previous leagues where I didn't have a co-commentator, and I've said, who wants a chance to become a co-commentator? You can come in, I'm patient, we will work with you to get you comfortable and to get you in a position that you feel comfortable that you can commentate with me full time, whatever it may be. And there are people that have stuck to it like glue, and there are people who haven't felt comfortable and they've stepped away, and that's fine because it's not for everyone. And it's, it's easy for anyone to get into a chat and to So we hit 369. Give the salutes.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Hit the salutes, baby. Yes, perfect timing right there,
Yeah,
Hamish.
it was indeed. So people will get into a chat and they will criticize comments that we may make. If we get a stat wrong, we get a stat wrong. We're human. Give it a go for yourself before you want to try and criticize for how poor commentary may be. Different story if you have got a lot of experience and you feel that the style of a commentator is not your style. That's fine. It's not for everyone. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Jake's probably not everybody's cup of tea. Our combination surely is not everybody's cup of tea. I'm sure for some people we go together like peanut butter and a brick. I don't know how well that would taste when you try and bite into it. And I'm sure for some other people out there we go together like peanut butter and jelly, and it's a great harmonious, collection. And then for some others, or others may view us as peanut butter and pickles. Only a few people may enjoy us and others may despise us. Who knows? But just take a bit of a step back and think, how would I feel if I was in this position? And how would I do in this position in terms of could I step up to the challenge that these guys are stepping up to as well?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I've called a bunch of races myself that are, pretty big races. I've called, numerous races, Podium 500 back when Podium was a thing. It's not anymore. That's a whole different story for a whole different day. But, call for Nazareth, for Marconi Entertainment, big races like, the King of Daytona, the Nazareth 500, big races like that, King of Talladega races. Matter of fact, talking about Daniel Falkenham a minute ago, the King of Talladega that I called back in November, Falkenham won that race. So that was a big deal. Obviously, we had our King of Daytona back last month in January. And Malik Ray, one of the bigger drivers in that, I was co-commentating in that race, and Malik Ray, one of the NASCAR guys, he ended up winning that race. So, and we got criticized for that as well. I've had criticism as we got one up another wall coming off of 4 right here on the inside of 30 to go. But people were sitting there saying, "Oh, well, yeah, he's talking out of his nose, talking out of my nose. Kiss my ass." You think you can do better? Get in there and do it. That's the thing. That's the thing, out of that. And, one thing that I've always said about this, Hamish, and we'll drop it after this, because I think we might have went off the rails here a little bit, but I started it. Go ahead. I started it. But is that, we're doing a job. We are doing a job. We get paid to do a job. We get paid to entertain, to call a race and broadcast it. Don't screw with us while we're working. You wouldn't screw with somebody when they're out there cutting grass to make money. You wouldn't go out there and tell them, "Hey, you're doing, you're cutting the grass wrong. You're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong," or whatever. You wouldn't sit there and say that because then they'd just look at you and say, "Well, here, take the fucking mower. You do it yourself." That's how they would do it. Is we're under 20 to go. But that's how I've always been. And if you called us out on the air, it's not going to look good for you because we'll call you out right back at that. So that's just my take. We'll cut that out and everything else. We'll get back to the racing and everything. But it's just something that's been brewing on my mind and something that I need to say. And Hamish, I'm sure that you agree 100%. It needed to be said, not only for us, but for other broadcasters out there as well that do the same thing that we're doing, taking the time out of our busy days. And, from loved ones and everything else. And, and not only that, but, some of us that work jobs throughout the day and then come in here and then call these races. So, it's a big deal. Matt Bear, he's got a lead, literally, 2 laps over Joplin and Catazero. You basically go down the line and he's got 3 laps, 4 laps, 5 laps, all the way down to Earl Sames, who pretty much is out of it at 117 laps down. He's going to need a miracle, literally a miracle out of 15 laps, and it ain't going to happen. I'll go ahead and tell you, it's not happening. But King Matthew Bear, we'll basically call him that at this point, Hamish. You put on a domination like this right here, you are gonna be the king when it's all said and done? Bear putting an ass whooping right now on the field here in round 5.
Are we going to have to start calling this track the Bear Ring, perhaps? Since he's become the king of the Bullring. I mean, 2 laps ahead. This man basically owns Las Vegas at this point. And as we said, just a sheer dominant performance. And really, I mean, you know, Matt Bear, what more can we say? 2 laps ahead. This is the only time 2 races in a row I have seen a race leader just completely get out there and big dick a field like this. I'm serious. Like, it is literally, it's more than putting them to the sword. This is literally
raw dog in the field.
They're legit. It is. It is. He has found a protest march and just decided to put the foot down through it at this point. That is the best way we can describe it, because he has just seen this and he's thought, I've got pace, I've got a great strategy, I'm going to put this thing foot to the floor and I'm going to win this thing, and I'm going to absolutely claim the podium for myself. And that's what he's done. And to go to Irwindale next week, there is no bigger way that anyone could do this. No one could do this bigger or better now than what Matt Bear has done this. The only larger scale thing that can happen is if someone literally was the only car to finish the whole race and everyone ended up in pit lane. That is the only bigger thing that could happen for someone to win and dominate a race.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, it's like I played that soundbite earlier. I mean, that'll do it. Start the buses, Port area crown, pretty much. I mean, remember, here at XCAL, no cautions within the last 10 laps. Hell, we're 6 laps to go. This bitch is over. I mean, literally, if Bear does not...
It's been over for 100 laps. Jake, it's been over for 100 laps.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's
more like, yeah.
It's been over for 100 laps. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, what more can we say other than that? I mean, again, we can give the props to Matt Bear for his performance in winning this race. He won this race 100 laps ago. The props, though, as well, we have to give to Richie Joplin. Qualified himself on pole, has held himself strong in P2, and has remained where he is. Great performance. John Cannizzaro on debut. Great performance in P3. Jack McKee started from pit lane, fought his way up to P4. Great performance. David Malgi, a great performance tonight, up 4. Rex up 2. Not the best performance we've seen from him, but still a great one. Ryan Seams up 5. That's a great performance from him as well. Albie Hewins, bit average tonight. Sean Andrews, not too bad. Jose Gardenia, not as good as how he did last week. And then J-Dog and Gerald Poole, what happened to those guys? They started up the front. They haven't ended up the front. Jared Campbell's in pit lane. Seems to the back end of the field. Ultimately, though, when we get the white flag, no one has done better tonight than Matthew Bear, and that has to be conceded. And he is crowned, when he crosses the line, King of the Bullring.
King of the Bullring, King of the Bear Ring, King of whatever the hell you want to call it. He is King. Try to help Rex. Rex might have been out of gas, but it doesn't make a shit. Matt Bear, King Matt Bear, takes it at Bullring here tonight, round 5. And it literally, like I mentioned, put an ass whooping on the field. 2 laps over everybody. Richie Joplin going to take second. Cannizzaro Jr. is going to come home with third. They're all waving the white flag, ready for it to be over with. And Bear going to drift it through the corners. Make sure you don't tear the car up. Make sure it's got to pass tech. He's going to just straight up junk it if he can. And Matt Bear on the podium, going to burn it down on the backstretch. Self-proclaimed king. He is the king here this evening. Matthew Bear, the king. King Matt Bear, he ends up winning it. Richie Joplin, second. He'll be right there on the front row as well. John Cannizzaro Jr. finishes third. He must have decided not to pull it out there for the podium deal. But, hey, first start, he don't know what the hell's going on. He just pulled it in there, which I don't blame him. Hey, Take it and run. Take the third place and run, Hoss. Take it and run and be happy with it. But King Matthew Bear going to burn it down on the front stretch and show everybody that this is his house. And he is showing that it is his house here tonight in Virtual Viva Las Vegas. Matt Bear gets the win. We'll show you the race results here in just a little bit, give you an idea of where your favorite driver finished. As you see King Matthew Bear right here showing a little bit of highlights of his racing behind Malji and others. But King Matthew Bear getting the win here tonight. As we mentioned, Richie Joplin's second good drive for him. Started on the pole. Only down one spot. Good drive on him to keep it right there where he needed it to. John Catazero Jr. gets third. We'll talk to those drivers here in just a little bit. Jack McKee. What could have been for Jack McKee? Remember, Jack started in the sixth spot. He said, to hell with it. I'm just going to start from the pits. Might have had a penalty. Might have got busted for something. Or just wanted to start from the pits just because. He ends up still getting a fourth here tonight. What could have been if he actually started from that sixth spot and rolled off on the grid? What could have happened for the 23? David Malji, one of the Rookie of the Year contenders, ends up finishing in fifth. Stephen T. Rex, he'll end up finishing sixth. Good drive for him. Right behind him, Ryan Sames, 131. Biggest mover in the field, up 5 spots. He ends up getting seventh with Al Hewins. Ends up finishing in P8. Sean Andrews at one point was one of the biggest movers. He'll settle for ninth here tonight. And Jose Godino rounded out the top 10. J-Dog Seams. What happened? No idea what happened to the 88, but he dropped all the way to 11th. He started up there on the outside of the front row. He ends up finishing 11th here tonight, but Gerald Poole lost a good bit of spots as well. Finishes in 12th. Silent Joe Campbell will get 13th. And Earl Seams ends up being the 14th driver here tonight at Las Vegas's Bullring. We'll have a little chat with our podium finishers right here. We'll slide him on up here. I'll go ahead and call it now. He is the king of the Bullring, the king of the Bear Ring. King Matthew Bear ends up getting the win here tonight. Put an ass whooping on the field. King Matt Bear, you took your throne here tonight, son. You took it and you ran with it. Congratulations on the win. Tell us about the race.
Yeah, man. Hell of a run. I really don't know what to say. I mean, that was pure dominance right there from about lap 50 to 75 on. The car was phenomenal long run. That's the best car I've had in a long, long time right there. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how I ended up 2 laps ahead of the whole entire field. I mean, I was just, I didn't even look at lap times throughout the race. I was feeling comfortable after that first run. I just turned it on and had my relative on. I was just trying to keep an eye on everybody, and I think I ended up pulling about 13 seconds during that second run, and I was just sitting there trying to be in rhythm, not doing anything special, and it turned into this.
Well, Matt, I mean, you know, was there a little bit of, I was going to say, was there a bit of personal, maybe vendetta against one Octavio Rondoletto when he lapped the whole field barring P2 2 weeks ago? But the way it sounds, though, you've kind of just, you've had this absolute rocket ship underneath you tonight, and you've just driven it to what was a purely dominant performance by being in tune with your car, having your car be in tune with the road tonight, and just hitting every single mark as perfect as possible. We said it on broadcast, the only way we're ever going to see a more dominant performance from someone now is if nobody finishes the race and it's only the race leader who finishes. Like that now is the only way we're ever going to see something that is more dominant than this. And ultimately, we said this as well, you won the race on lap 300. I mean, Malji still needed to pit. You were in cruise control mode because you were a lap ahead of everyone. Eventually, you put 2 laps on the podium. You'd won it 100 laps early. I mean, it was just a pure dominant performance. A lot of the people inside the top 10 had great races, but when you weigh it up against yourself, it is literally putting a brick against a feather. You just shoot them up in the air, and it's not even comparable to how well you drove this evening.
Yeah, this was from start to finish. Realistically, this is probably my best XCAL run in the 6 years that I've been running this. And I mean, I don't know if I've ever felt as confident as I have about halfway through the race. I'm like, man, I'm not doing anything spectacular. I'm just sitting here hitting my marks and just not making sure I'm not overdriving the car, getting on throttle too early. And brother, I honestly, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm just as surprised as you guys are right now. I mean, I was expecting, especially after that first 75 laps, 100 laps or so with Joplin and John just sitting there pulling away from me, and they were about 2.5 seconds out on me, and they were just riding. And then I just slowly started to pick off about a half a tenth to a tenth every lap, and started reeling them in. And I was like, all right, well, we might have something here, because I'd been so busy this week that the most laps that I'd ran on a run was probably 90 laps, honestly. So I truthfully had no clue what was going to happen from the last 50 laps of the run, basically. And the first run, I burned them up a good little bit. Second run, I was able to manipulate the tires and do what I needed to do to not burn them up. And third run, there wasn't nothing for me to even worry about at that point, honestly. My main goal was to get the 89 car 2 laps down, so even if we did get a caution to come out and they'd get the wave around, I'd still have a 1 lap advantage on everybody, and I'm still not racing anybody at that point.
Well, I mean, I have to ask, because I've had the thought pop up in my head right now. I'm envisioning back to a scene at the beginning of a great comedy classic for the mid-2000s in Talladega Nights, of course, which, Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, great film, when Ricky Bobby gets to drive his NASCAR for the first time, and he's popped something whilst he's in the car. Was it a similar feeling for you when you realised you had the two lap advantage and only a couple laps to go at the end of the race?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's trying to get Harry Hogg to bring me a ice cream cone out to the car while I'm running around at that point. Is that feeling? I mean, I'm just sitting there. All right, just don't wreck the car. And even if you do wreck the car, you can wreck probably 3 to 4 times and get going again and still have a half a lap lead. Like and I mean, I respect every single guy that runs in here. I mean, I know what it takes to come out here and run 400 laps on a demanding track with no power steering basically in it. And I mean, a lot of these guys have higher I ratings than I do. So, I mean, it's not a walk in the park to come out here and dominate, but I'm fairly damn impressed right now with how the car drove tonight. I must say, highly impressed.
Well, we are as well. We appreciate your time as well, Matt, for coming and have a chat to Jake and I. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, man, I got to give a shout out to Brent for putting me in the car every week and letting me go out here and do my thing. Shout out to John for stepping up and running the 66 car for us tonight. Sim Hub Racer, J-Dog's Carpentry, Track Cams, the Roasted Record, DRE, you guys at Motormouth are putting it on, the XCAL Webshop, the IAP, and the admin box for coming on board and helping us come out here. I know we didn't have a full field tonight, but you don't need a full field whenever you've got somebody dominating like that. It doesn't matter who's on the track.
It really doesn't. Well, King Matthew the Bear, congratulations. Dominant race win. Best of luck at Irwindale. In a week's time, we look forward to seeing how you do.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
Thanks so much. You too.
It was the King Matthew Bear ends up getting the win here tonight. We'll flip-flop over here. And honestly, XCal's favorite trucker. Literally, XCal's favorite trucker, which obviously is Charles Joplin. Joplin, baby, Richie, got a P2 out of it. If you started on the pole, you get a P2 out of it. Not a bad night for you after 400 laps.
No, it's not bad. No, it's not bad. I messed up twice in the pit, so that was my bad. and then my car got tight at the end, so I missed just a little bit of something at the end of it. So I'm learning how to set these cars up, so I'm getting better. I'm getting better at it. Old Matt had us covered, though. I mean, he done good. He had everything perfect. He had a good long run car, so I got to figure something out to get a little bit better.
Well, you know, Charles, I mean, it's pretty hard to contest with such a dominant performance from Matt at the front of the field. But yourself and John, you guys were battling tooth and nail the whole race. Barely got away from each other. You know, you guys were tightly together pretty much the whole way through. How was that battle for you, though, with him? Because, you know, you guys were not only amongst the absolute just pack of cars that were all in around you, whilst you guys are trying to battle for position, you guys are lapping them as well. How was that for you on board the car? And, you know, especially with being such a long race, you know, no power steering in these things. It's arduous. How was that just keeping yourself in check whilst battling alongside him? And then obviously with the inevitable knowing that Matt was coming by, he was lapping you, and then he put you guys a lap down again. How was that for you, just trying to focus on all those different factors throughout the race?
Oh, it's nothing. You just got to time everything perfect where you can like, if the leader's catching you, you might as well, and you know he's faster, you might as well just let him by, so he won't cause no problem. And maybe you get luck up and pass him back or something might happen. Other than that, you just got to keep your eye on him, keep your focus, and just hit your line and just pass everybody as clean as possible. But, you know, still and be courteous to other people, you know.
Well, we appreciate you coming and have a chat to us once again. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to, Charles, before we let you go?
Yes, give a shout out to Flaming Karma, Paint Shop, XCAL, Webshop, Admin Box, Sim Racer Hub, and J-Dog's Carpentry. And I'd like to get a shout out to Navy Joe Coffee. See the redneck side of me just come out there. I messed up on my speech here for a minute. But hey, I'll give him a shout out to that. And thanks for Gerald for putting me in the car and letting me race.
Well, we appreciate you coming and have a chat to us, Charles. Best of luck next time out at Irwindale. We look forward to seeing how you go and seeing if you can maybe get another pole position to your name as well.
Thank you very much, and appreciate y'all broadcasting this race.
No worries. Thanks so much.
Alrighty, that was Richie Joplin, everybody's favorite trucker here in XCAL. We'll flip-flop over. We'll get a grab with John Canizero Jr., for getting his name right. I'm not 100% for getting it right, but we'll...
This man is an enjoyer of the Cars game on PS2, I am sure.
Take a free ride, by God. That's what we want. We love it. We love it. John Canizero Jr. coming in with a free ride. And no shit, it was a free ride. Not necessarily, though, John. I mean, you know, first time in here, 400 laps at the Bullring. First time with XCAL, you come home with a podium up 2 spots before you started. Tell us about your race, buddy, because it wasn't no free ride. I promise you that.
Oh, God, where do I start? I don't remember the last time I had an interview where I had to actually tell somebody what I did during a race. You know, I gotta start by saying I want to thank Steve Rex for the setup he gave me. I kind of butchered that thing on pit road at least 3 times, and you know, I was not used to these long races in these cars. I didn't know what to expect. It's my first time here, and you know, I was a little bit of a doubter on if I'd even enjoy wanting to be here, so I kept pushing it off for months. And you know, I got out to that lead, and I'm thinking, oh, this is fantastic. You know, I got some air pressure adjustments in my mind for that first pit stop, and then about 50 laps before it, I think every single thing in that car went downhill. Right rear burnt off, right front burnt off, left rear was off in Neverland, and the guy in the driver's seat was starting to get tired already. So just fell back to third because I didn't know how to let people by and get in line again, and I kind of showed my inexperience with this open setup asphalt stuff coming from dirt. So you know, there might be another time I run this and try to redeem myself, but I think right now I'm satisfied with my third place in my first run, and I really need to start learning how to crack my back and shoulders during pit stops, because holy crap, was that miserable.
Need to get yourself maybe a osteopath paid for by the team, possibly. Just mid pit stop, just lean forward, get the back rubbed out, get the knots pushed out of the back, possibly as well. We've spoken on end about the dominance of your teammate Matt Bear out there tonight. How are you now gonna be able to survive the confidence that has been applied to him and into his car going into Irwindale next week, where you can maybe try and hang with him and possibly keep both yourselves on the lead lap and maybe battle for the win between yourselves as well?
Well, I don't know what next week's gonna look like for me. This was, at least to me, it was supposed to only be a one-off start, to help Brent out, the team, just kind of getting my feet wet in here and seeing if I enjoy it. And I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy it, but I don't know if I could do that one again. So, if I do show up, I do think I'll have a better game plan on what I do, and hopefully, if I'm not as stupid as I was this time, and I'll actually try to patience myself through the first run and learn something about the car instead of making adjustments blindly. Hopefully I can follow him instead of being passed by him like I'm sitting still.
Well, John, we really appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming and have a quick chat to us as well. Great performance on your debut in the series. P3 in the end here at the Bullring. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
Oh, yeah, I got to shout out Steve Rex and Brent Mackis and everybody else that's part of that team and it helped me get it here. They've been asking me for a couple months now if I'd do it, and I kept saying no. And Steve finally convinced me the other day. I made a paint scheme, I got to thank you guys for broadcasting too. You guys are really good at it, and wish I could have you guys in other leagues with me too. But I got to shout out them and again Steve for the setup and helping me with that. Don't really understand this open setup asphalt stuff yet. Again, Dirt Racer hasn't quite wandered over yet, so gotta thank them for helping me along the way in these last couple months and about a year that I've been with them now. And everybody that helps XCAL get going, and that's about it.
Well, we appreciate your time, John. If you are back next week for Irwindale, we wish you the best of luck, and if not, we wish you the best of luck in your next racing endeavour, where that may be.
Hey, thank you.
Alrighty. Sounds like a pretty good time out of these old boys tonight. Got her done here tonight at the Bullring. Surely was a blast of a race here this evening. Hey, Miss Monroe, my good buddy. You got another one down. Your final thoughts on the Bullring here tonight at Viva Las Vegas.
It's Matt Bear is officially now crowned the king of the Bullring. Let's be honest. Won it with 100 laps to go, pretty much. Lapped the whole field twice over at the bare minimum. What more can you say? Just pure dominance. And we'll see what comes of Irwindale next week. Whether we get a similar scenario. It's happened 2 weeks in a row, or 2 rounds in a row now. We'll see if we'll go 3 in a row. We'll see if Charles can get a third pole position in a row as well. That'd be a great effort from him if he can do that. And just see who can show up next time we go to Irwindale, because I think ultimately maybe it was the setup, maybe it was just the track and everything came together for Matthew tonight. But we'll see what we get from Irwindale. I think it's going to be an interesting race, and one that we cannot necessarily determine how it's going to go until we see it on our screens.
Absolutely. It'll be an interesting one come next Tuesday night. And I'm telling you, Bullring, it put on a treat here tonight. 400 laps. And the King Matthew Bear reclaims the throne of being the king here tonight at the Bullring, Viva Las Vegas. He literally rolled 12s, tripled up, and gets it done. Almost tripled up on the whole damn field. Almost put them all 3 laps down. But ends up getting 2 laps down, at least on the rest of the field. He gets the win here tonight. Folks, that's going to do it for this broadcast here on Motormouth Broadcasting with XCAL Webshop Series. And, got to thank all the great sponsors. So many sponsors that has a hand here in the XCAL series. I mean, just so many of them. Obviously, with IAAP, with the awards that they've got going on. I mean, that was the first one that come to mind. Honestly, I mean, there's so many sponsors though, Hamish. I mean, there's so many to try to remember because there's so many of them that's got a hand in this. I do know Roasted Record right here with Motor Math Broadcast, Digital Race Engineer, all the great sponsors that have a hand in these races. Admin Box, I mean, you name it. I mean, the list goes on and on and on with the sponsors. Because if it ain't sponsors, they ain't got the money, and if they ain't got the money, it ain't happening. That's how it always is. Flaming Karma, I mean, you name it, the great sponsors. Shout out to the drivers. You put on a hell of a show. Fans, y'all come out in some big numbers. Thank you very much for some of the comments that y'all had out there, giving us some love. We do appreciate that as well. And obviously, Aaron Hillebush and everybody involved, all the admins, Jim Cunningham for allowing us to come in here and commentate and call the XCAL Webshop Series, Street Stock Series. It's a blast. Got to see what happens when we go out to Irwindale next week. From a good buddy. Hope you get to feeling better, buddy. Hamish Monroe, co-commentating and producing on the Redneck Announcer. Jake Reeves said, as always, be safe, be kind, be fast. Irwindale next week. Outer. Not the Demolition Derby in the middle, but maybe going to get a little bit iffy out there. Will be a damn good one next Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, live and only on Motor Mouth Broadcasting. We'll see you there.